local and late breaking.
Welcome back. Well, they've been the underdogs for weeks, and they managed to work miracles time and time again. Today, the Golden Eagles took to the turf at Mansion Park, trying to become the first Blair County team to bring home a PIAA championship. The Tyrone Golden Eagles made school and Blair County history by simply stepping on the Mansion Park turf, and the stands were packed. In the second quarter, trailing 7-0, Matt Scher comes up with a big-time interception. He's headed in the other direction and not brought down until the tornado 28-yard line. Scher with 2 pickoffs on the afternoon, this one giving Tyrone a chance to score before the halftime break. And they do on the very next play. Jared Anderson with a 28-yard touchdown pass to Marcus Owens, wide open. The Eagles trailed by just 1 point at the half. But after the break, Mount Carmel would break it open. A sustained drive on the ground capped by the Brett Veach touchdown made it 13-6 Mount Carmel. Tyrone would have to pull off another comeback to come away state champions. This time it was not meant to be. Fourth quarter, Anderson airs it out, but Mount Carmel's Dave Evans is on the other end of this one. Evans has clear sailing for a 55-yard return for the score. Mount Carmel would go on to win it 25-6, but hats off to the Golden Eagles for a storybook season.
Well, you know, it was an incredible run, a great group of kids. I think our kids played our hearts out. But I want to congratulate Mount Carmel. That was a tremendous football team, and the better team won. They beat us in every phase of the game, and they deserve to win the championship.
But I'm sure right now, as the season comes to an end, you're emphasizing all of the positive things that you did this year.
Oh, absolutely. Mr. Cashman, before the game, said it right. He said, this is a game of champions. And he said, I don't care what happens. He said, there are no losers here. And I really agree with him. I think you saw 2 champions out there, and I thought our kids played their hearts out. And as they've done all year, as they've done for the last couple of years. And I'm as proud of them as I have been of anybody. And it was a great run.
And it wasn't.
Today's PIAA State Championship game is brought to you by Altoona Hospital, Nelson Chevrolet, Del Grosso Foods, Fiore Pontiac, Gardner's Candies, Natural Games, and Harry Sickler.
Hello and welcome to PIAA State High School Football Championship action Tyrone style. Jim Gregory here with Forest Hills head coach Don Bailey and Kelly Goodman to bring you the play-by-play, the color, and the X's and O's. We've got it all covered for you as Tyrone, undefeated on the season, takes on undefeated Mount Carmel for the AA State Football Championship. We're excited to bring it to you. We're glad you're tuning in to roll those VCRs and get all the game action that you're probably going to want to save for a lot of years. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about the X's and O's of Tyrone and Mount Carmel. Don is a perfect person to have as the X's and O's guy because you played both teams in the last few years. You played Tyrone just a couple of weeks ago for the district championship. You played Mount Carmel in '94 for the AA State championship. Give us an idea of what we can expect from both teams.
Well, both of these teams seem to mirror each other an awful lot. They play an excellent running game. They have an outstanding passing game, and they both play outstanding defense. They're very mirror images of each other, and probably the deciding factor today will be whether or not the team that makes the fewest mistakes will win or lose, and the team that capitalizes on those mistakes. And the kicking game could be a big factor in today's game.
And defense always wins you championships.
Absolutely. As the slogan goes, offense wins games, defense wins championships.
All right, Coach Bailey. Kelly, this has been a terrific ride for all of us in Blair County to be able to follow this Tyrone football team. They got so close to it last year. Now that they're back, they are not just happy to be here, I don't think.
No, they are absolutely thrilled to be here. In fact, one Tyrone fan described this season as 13 weeks of Christmas to me earlier today because they are 13-0. It's the best season Tyrone has ever had. They came so close to the state final last year and lost, and this year they're here, the first Blair County team to ever be here. They are ready for a big game.
It's been one long week of Christmas celebration, but it's also been really a lot of fun to follow this team from the community standpoint and what they've done this week. It's just been one day of celebration after another.
That's true. The team has tried to be very focused during the week and prepare for the state championship, but the community has really taken every single day during the week to not only wish them well for this state game, but to congratulate them on everything that they have done throughout the year. And of course, the pep rally was a perfect example of that yesterday. I swear there were thousands of people in that gym screaming, "Team Toughness Tyrone," ready for this game.
All right, Kelly, Don, I think we've set the table for this one. It's the state AA championship. Tyrone and Mount Carmel will have it for you when we come right back.
9, 8, 7.
Now let's make that random call with today's $10,000 question. Who shot Alexander Hamilton in that famous duel? Hello, for $10,000. Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry. Your time is up.
Got milk?
Today's championship game brought to you by the Bullpen. The Bullpen, 30 years of promoting sports. This is the greatest. Go Eagles.
Amazing. Everything my heart needed was here at home. Altoona Hospital Center for Cardiac Care has every procedure and specialist you could need. They did 500 open-heart bypass surgeries and 2,000 catheterizations last year, more than Hershey or Geisinger. Some local doctors send you to strange cities. I'm glad I got well here at home. The Altoona Hospital Center for Cardiac Care. Experts in matters of the heart.
You won't pay any more money to come to Tyrone to buy a car. In fact, you may save some money. Because you got to understand our overhead is much, much lower in Tyrone than it would be in Altoona or State College or any of the other larger areas. We take great pride in our used vehicles, both cars and trucks. And believe me, if we didn't like it, it wouldn't be for sale. I think that makes a difference.
I don't want no imitation. Taste is what I'm contemplating.
Whether you're gathering for the game or just fighting the winter chill with friends, be sure to include the finest from the Del Grosso family. Del Grosso meatballs, pizza sauce, sloppy Joe sauce, and thick and chunky salsa. Reach for Del Grosso at your favorite store and guarantee a perfect party.
From Del Grosso Foods, it's where the real stuff comes from.
10 News is live, local, late breaking. 10 News, live, local, and late breaking.
From the off-season weight training to the two-a-days in August, this is what these football players have worked towards. A Class AA championship for the state of Pennsylvania, as the Tyrone Golden Eagles will be the visiting team today. Mount Carmel, the Red Tornadoes, the home team. It's the AA championship. We're just about set for the kickoff. Joining me again, Kelly Goodman and Don Bailey, the head coach at Forest Hills. And the teams have been introduced. There you see the weather forecast for today. Winds out of the southeast should not be a factor. Temperature about 35 degrees as we take a look at the fans bundled up for this one. But this is actually better weather than I've seen for a championship game here in Altoona in a long time. So the PIAA should be taking note. Altoona has good weather for the championship games this year. There you see the Red Tornadoes, the defense being introduced as we speak. We'll take a look at the starting lineups as we get set for the kickoff. Don Bailey, first of all, when you get to this championship game, is there a chance that with all the butterflies, all the pressure, that you can sometimes overcoach?
Well, in the past, and based on my experiences, that's certainly a case that can happen. We have found, though, that you start to put things in that you want to try and fool the other team with, but when you get through the practice week, you find out that the things that have worked for you during the course of the season are the things that you want to use. So you want to use the things that work for you, and you keep going with those things because that's what brought you to this point in the season.
All right, we're getting set for the national anthem here in just a bit as well. Kelly, you know, you take a look in those stands, and it's just unbelievable. 17 busloads of fans from Mount Carmel made this trip. I was a little surprised. And there you see the crowd on the home side, the visitor side, I can tell you, is filled as well. We could see a record attendance here.
Yes, and I talked to Cheryl Ebelsol of the Allegheny Mountains Convention and Visitors Bureau right before the game. She said that in 5 years of hosting the championships here, they have never seen the stands this full for a state championship game. They certainly do expect to top that attendance mark that was set 2 years ago when Forest Hills faced Mount Carmel again in the state championship 1994.
So far through 2 championship games, it's East 1, West 1, Farrell winning the single A from the West, Berwick winning the triple A from the East. Later on, it's going to be Woodland Hills and Downingtown for the Quad A State Championship. I can tell you, by the way, that the throngs of media that are here are filling up that press box right there. Altoona is a favorite place for those folks to come this weekend for the PIAA State Football Championships. Let's talk a little bit about the captains for Tyrone, Kelly. Coach Franco has 5 or 6 of them. Their leadership has been integral in getting them this far. Jared Anderson being one of the true leaders on this football team.
He really is. He's a leader on the field. He's a 3-year starter at quarterback. He's also a very emotional leader on this team. He's a very positive player, and he leads very much vocally and also by example. A very positive player on the field. Also, Marcus Owens is another captain who is the featured running back for this offense. He has put up remarkable numbers this year. 28 touchdowns and 1 2-point conversion, 170 points total, and you will expect to see him running the ball an awful lot. He's not the biggest back on the field, but he's certainly one of the most gutsy, I'm sure. When you tackle him at the top, his feet just keep on going, and he always picks up an extra yard or 2. Other captains, Luke Friday, who kicked the game winner last week against Aliquippa.
All right. Let's pause and take in our national anthem.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you remain standing for the singing of the Star Spangled Banner to be sung today by the Millwood Annis High School Women's Ensemble. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets right well, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the
tell they've been singing that song just a few times in their career. It sounds great, ladies. Congratulations on a great performance. Excuse me, now let's look forward to a great performance from the Tyrone Golden Eagles. Kelly, just the rest of the captains for the Golden Eagles.
Right, there's 3 more captains we want to talk about. John Sainer is a member of both the offensive and defensive lines. Head coach John Franco says that's where games are won and lost, in the trenches, and he is certainly a monumental factor there. Also, Craig Starr, who is not on the field today. He injured a knee in the game against Wilmington, and last week the team dedicated their win against Aliquippa to him, and I know that he is on the mind of his teammates today.
The Mount Carmel captains, Dave Evans, Mike Boyer, 2 of those captains out there, along with Brett Beach, a guy whose name you're going to hear quite a bit today, and Joe Costello. Speaking of Beach, Don Bailey, this is a guy that you had a chance to play against back in '94. What kind of a factor was he then?
Well, I remember him very vividly as he took the first play from scrimmage and ran 55 yards with it. He's an outstanding running back, from what I understand. He's being recruited heavily by Division I schools, with Notre Dame included in those schools.
Notre Dame is interested in a AA player. That's fairly uncommon.
Well, it's uncommon, but the major schools, when they see an outstanding football player and it's a blue chipper, they find him, whether it's a AA school, single A school, or quad A school.
All right, even the referees get a huddle. Hands in. If they come out yelling, "Let's go," and they do, that's we're going to have a great ball game. In fact, the fact that Pennsylvania uses 7 officials for the championship game is a little unusual. All right, Mount Carmel winning the toss. They will receive. Kelly, set the offense for us.
Well, there you're taking a look at the offense. Gary Dunn, Mike Sinkovich, John Else, Mike Boyer. One of the main things that John Franco has said he has to worry about with this offense is their speed. They have 2 kids, Beach and also Dave Evans, who run 4.4 legit in high school, and he says that's almost unheard of. But compared to Aliquippa last week, he says they'll take speed over size any day.
And, of course, Vic Kornaski is a guy whose name you're going to hear quite a bit. Don Bailey, he's one of the biggest kids out there at quarterback, probably bigger than some of the offensive linemen in front of him. He has a gun.
Watching him in pregame warm-ups, he has an outstanding arm. He can throw the quick outs, the long outs. He can also throw the ball deep. And he has good size and should be able to drop back in the pocket and have a good game today.
Kelly, there's the defense.
Cliff McElwain, Matt DeArmond, Ken Parks, John Sainer, and Jason Brandt. Sainer, again, one of the senior captains and a leader on that defensive line. Scott Bonsall, Jeremy LaRosa, who is certainly a threat in the defensive backfield. Brian Bonsall, Matt Scher, Jared Anderson, also doubling as quarterback, and, of course, Marcus Owens.
All right, we're ready. Hope you are, too. Let's play some football. A low, across the field squibber. Picked up at the 24 by number 27, Dave Evans. Tyrone gang tackling, and we're underway. Mount Carmel taking over with a 1st and 10. They spot the ball at the 30-yard line. Tyrone's defense this season, 4 shutouts, 3 other games. They allowed just 1 touchdown. They have not allowed more than 2 all season. Let's see what they can do against this Mount Carmel offense. Kornaski brings them out. Watch for Beach. First carry. Tries to find a hole, but nothing doing. The Tyrone defense is there to close the gap quickly. Coming up from the bottom of the pile for Tyrone. Brian Bonsall, let's take a look at the replay. Bonsall wrapping him up, getting some help. Matt DeArmond there as well. No gain. And that's the way you want to start out a game, Coach. Give him 2nd and long.
You see Tyrone's in the 52 defense there.
Nothing doing with Beach. The 52 might work well today against this offense.
Well, they've got an outstanding attack defense, and those 2 linebackers they have there are outstanding linebackers. And you'll hear Bonzell's name an awful lot today.
Let's take a look at another replay. Tyrone, almost as if they're in the Mount Carmel huddle, knowing what play is going to be called. No gain, actually a loss of 1. So it'll bring up 3rd and 11 from just inside the Mount Carmel 30. Kornaski looking, pressure, dropped. There to make the tackle, Jason Brandt. He came in almost untouched, basically shed off the blocker and made the tackle.
This is a very important series for Tyrone. This team is known, Mount Carmel is known for quick starts and big plays, and they wanted to get on the board in this first possession.
In punt formation, almost blocked. Nice kick downfield. Owens is going to let it go. Inside the 40. And that's where Tyrone's going to set up shop. 1st and 10, their first possession of the ball game. We'll get a chance to set that Tyrone offense for you. All the names should be very familiar. There you get a chance to kind of get a flavor of the atmosphere here at Mansion Park. This is what makes Mansion Park so attractive for a state football championship game. You put this kind of crowd in a bigger stadium and you just don't get the same kind of atmosphere. But here comes Tyrone. 1st and 10 from their own 35. They like to set up with a run-off tackle. Let's see what they do here. A quick hitter. A quick hitter for Mark Weiland. Coach, a little surprising there if they wouldn't go to Owens. I think they want to try and establish Weiland first.
Well, I think Mount Carmel is going to be looking for Marcus Owens, and the fact that Mark Weiland is a big, strong inside runner, I think it was a good play for the opening play of the game.
And there you see that interior line for Tyrone. Kelly, tell us a little bit about the backfield.
Well, Matt Sherr at wide receiver, Marcus Owens at tailback. He is again the featured back. Jared Anderson at quarterback. He can also scramble and runs very well. Mark Weiland will also see a lot of time with the ball. He scored both of their touchdowns against Aliquippa last week.
And Andy Woomer is a tight end, has 8 catches, but 3 of them for touchdowns. All right, here's Owens. Big hole. He's going to midfield, looking for tacklers. Beach is knocked out of the way before Owens is finally dragged down out of bounds into Mount Carmel territory. And I'll tell you what, that Tyrone offensive line, give them credit. They're setting up shop well for Marcus Owens off the first carry of the game for him.
Jim, one thing that Marcus Owens does so very well, he runs to daylight. You will see the play started out as a power play to the left side. You saw the hole open up to the right side. He broke it back, and it was a big gainer for Marcus Owens.
A pickup of about 17 yards on the play. There you see the Mount Carmel defense quickly. We'll hear more about them as the game progresses. 1st and 10 from the Mount Carmel 40. Fake handoff into the middle. Owens, he's going to be taken down for a loss. Mount Carmel smelled that one out quickly, Kelly.
Yes, they did, but Marcus Owens is the kind of player who will come back and come back. Last week, he took such a beating against Aliquippa. A couple times he had to sit out for downs because he was taken off the field with minor injuries, but that is a kid who doesn't give up. He will come right back.
The only thing we can tell you about that Mount Carmel defense is the secondary for Mount Carmel is extremely fast. The folks they have in the backfield will not allow any deep passes, and once you get to the outside, look for them to come up and make some of the tackles, although Marcus Owens showed that he can certainly pick up some yardage on his first carry. All right, a loss of just about 2, 2nd and 12. Quick hitter, Owens, dragging a tackler. Nice pickup.
Yeah, I think you would have seen it a little bit different there on offense. He had 2 tight ends and 2 wideouts, and Marcus Owens was the lone back in the backfield. They ran a quick fullback trap to Marcus Owens.
All right, that's a pickup of about 6 yards on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6. But the battle of field position right now is being won by Tyrone. That is key at the beginning of the ball game. Anderson, his first attempt. Short pass. Dropped, intended for Andy Woomer, the tight end. Not a well-thrown ball, thrown at his feet. That's going to bring up a 4th and 6.
Well, probably at this point, I would think John Franco's going to punt the football, being on around the 37-yard line. But it could be 4 down territory also.
What would you do here, Coach?
I'd probably punt.
All right. I think that's what he's going to do. Take a look at Rick Hatch, the defensive coordinator. He's got 8 layers on top, shorts on the bottom. It's tradition.
It's not cool.
I'll tell you what, though. We're not good at second guessing, because here's Tyrone going for it on 4th and 6. Across the middle. Almost caught and dropped. Weiland there, the intended receiver, Anderson's pass in his hands, couldn't quite grab it. Would have been enough for the first, but that's going to bring a change of possession. Off-balance throw, Coach.
I think, though, this gives you an idea of what kind of confidence John Franco has in his defense. He felt from that point in the field his defense could stop Mount Carmel, and he felt it was a good enough time to take the challenge and go for the touchdown with a 1st down.
All right, change of possession brings out Mount Carmel with a 1st and 10 from their own 35. Beach the deep back. Takes the handoff over the right side, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, gets out close to midfield, out to the Red Tornadoes' 45-yard line. They'll mark it closer to the 46. Let's take a look at the replay.
Okay, what you see here is you see a counter trap where the left guard pulled out and trapped the right end. The tailback gave you some motion like he was going to go to the left and came off the right side. Good play from Mount Carmel.
And a very good play. A pickup of 9 yards brings up 2nd and 1. 3 backs in the backfield. And the pickup, I don't know. That'll be a close measurement. They give him his forward progress. It could be just a tip of the football over the first down marker. They're going to call a timeout for a measurement. Beach into the line and dropped. There to make the tackle. Brian Bonsall, as you said, Coach, we're going to hear his name quite a bit. These Bonsall guys, Kelly, they are just gutsy players. You know, when John Franco talks about guts, he's talking about those guys almost at the top of the list.
And really, the entire defensive line, they just take it upon themselves every single week to stop whoever they're playing. They really shoulder an awful lot of the responsibility.
You know, I always thought I had 20/20 vision, but I didn't know it was that good. It's an actual tip of the football past the first down marker. So that'll bring up a 1st and 10 for Mount Carmel, their first down pickup of the game. Watch, coaches, Rick Hatch told us at the beginning of the game to possibly see them go to a 4-3 if Mount Carmel's able to do something on the ground. But let's see what they do here. From the 46.
They're lined up in a 4-3.
They're in the 4-3. All right. The pitch goes to Veach, left side. Quickly brought down by that right side of the Tyrone defense. Looks like a pickup of about 2 yards. Going to bring up 2nd and 8.
I'm going to take a close look at that. That might have been a 52 with the 2 tackles that go down the inside. Again,
all right.
Good pursuit defense. A lot of Tyrone people around the football.
All right, that brings up 2nd and 9. They only give him a yard on the play. Receiver split wide to the left. Fake pitch, handoff up the middle. And nothing doing. That was Joe Costello, the 6', 200-pound fullback, quickly brought down by the Tyrone defense.
Tried to run a quick trap there, but there just wasn't much there to run. And again, Tyrone defense filled the gaps, and you see Bonzel again coming up.
Kelly, it doesn't seem like Mount Carmel likes to go just with the quick hitters. They like to try and fool a defense a little bit, try and use some misdirection, some sleight of hand.
Yeah, but I think John Franco is ready for that. In fact, he and Whitey Williams are good friends. And I talked to Whitey Williams yesterday, and he said he wishes John all the best, but he sure hopes he beats him today.
All right, 3rd and 8. Fakes the handoff. Watch for the screen. Veach is open, but the pressure was just too much for Kanaski. Hands in his face. Great fundamentals by that front 4 for Tyrone, the front 5. Those guys getting up there, putting their hands up, knowing that it was going to be a screen. They caused the disruption, Coach.
Again, that was a 4-3 defense by Tyrone. It was a passing situation. The defense again came in. Good execution by the defense, and it created a 4 throw by the quarterback from Mount Carmel.
A little surprised that they would go to the air on okay, I'm sorry, but that was 2nd down. That was 3rd down and 8. That brings up 4th and 8. There's no question Mount Carmel at this point has to punt. From their own 47. Again, Tyrone getting good pressure on the punter. Taken at the 17-yard line. For
Jamal
Tyrone.
Owens.
Jamal Owens, the sophomore.
Cousin of Marcus Owens.
We've got the family tree, the family
That's right.
lineage down pat. All right, Tyrone with his 2nd possession. Let's take a look at the replay here. Jamal trying to use his blockers to pick up some yardage. Not a bad pickup for a punt there.
Well, what you may see here, Jim, was both snaps now by Mount Carmel sort of floated back. I think later on in the game, you may be seeing Tyrone trying to block a punt.
And that punter is taking quite a few steps to get that ball off. He's not a 1 or 2-step punter. That's almost a 3-stepper.
That's correct.
All right, from the 26 of Tyrone, 1st and 10. Owens trying to find some room. Picks up about 2. Marcus is very good at waiting for his blockers. He's a patient runner.
Well, that was a power sweep. Marcus was waiting for something to develop. It wasn't anything outside. He cut back in, still picked up 2 or 3 yards.
They only give him 1. I say we give him 2. We'll call it 2nd and 8. I'm calling the plays. It's 2nd and 8. All right? Okay, Woomer goes out, the tight end for Tyrone. Here come the Golden Eagles. Weiland.
Could be a good time for some play action pass, and they like to go to number 12 on the play action.
Here's the option. Tough pitch. Owens handles it. Tries to pick up a couple of yards, breaks a couple of tackles, finally brought down just inside the 30, the market at about the 28. But that was a dicey pitch there. It wasn't exactly a clean pitch, but a good job on the part of Owens to make the catch.
Well, they tried to run a weak side lead option here. You see him at 20 leading it out there, Mark Weiland. And Mount Carmel does an outstanding job of playing the option here. A lot of people getting to the football, and they stopped that play for a short gain.
Eric Higgins there on the stop brings up 3rd and 9 from the 28. Now calling it 3rd and 8. Here's the draw. Owens trying to find some room. The initial play, I think, was to call it up the middle. Nothing was there. He had to break it to the outside, but Mount Carmel was there. Kelly, it's going to bring up a 4th down, and Tyrone's got a punt on this one.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely punt in this situation. Marcus is a very smart runner in this sense. When he sees that a route is not open, he stops and he goes in another direction. Unfortunately, he couldn't pick up the 1st down in that situation.
All right, they give him about 3 yards on the carry, but it's certainly not enough for any sort of 1st down opportunity. 4th and 5, and Tyrone's going to boot it away. So far, it's been a defensive struggle. Clock down now, under 4 minutes remaining in the 1st quarter. We're in a scoreless game. Backing up to take that Tyrone punt. And dropped is Dave Evans. Good pursuit on the part of the Tyrone special teams. You know, special teams in a game like this can be the difference.
Whenever you get into a championship game, a lot of times they are decided by the special teams and kicking game. And the team that does the very best of that today has a great possibility of winning.
And so far, you know, Kelly, I have not noticed either team showing any sort of signs of butterflies at this point. It's just been a defensive struggle.
No, and I think Tyrone is coming out much more poised than they did against Aliquippa last week. They really seemed to be very tentative at the beginning of that Aliquippa game, but I think that gave them a lot of confidence.
Kornaski with that gun, sending it to Evans, but quickly there, defensively, Brian Bonsall brings down Evans for a pickup of about 2 yards. We'll call it 2nd and 8.
Number two.
Bonsall looking to the sideline to get the defensive signals. He's pretty much the voice of that defense, Kelly.
Yes, he is. And, you know, before every game, Tyrone sits down and they go through the 3 T's of this team, particularly on defense. They are team, toughness, Tyrone. It's a chant you'll hear before every game and after every victory. So you've heard it at least 13 times this year.
Kornaski hands it to Veach, the deep back, but he's dropped for a loss. They may have given him yardage back to the line of scrimmage, but some great defense there. Tyrone doing a great job of getting pressure in the backfield. John Sainer with the tackle. Take a look at the replay.
Okay, there you see a very similar play, much like Tyrone had run. They tried to run the draw play. They got the similar results that Tyrone had gotten. Both teams are playing great defense thus far.
All right, the black and orange waving proudly so far as we approach 2.5 minutes left in the 1st quarter. 3rd and 10, a loss of 2 on the play. Kornaski rolling, looking, pressured, dropped. Sainer in there again. Great play. Kornaski for a loss, and that's going to bring up another punting situation. Here's the replay.
Okay, here you see some waggle boot action here. When the guard pulled out, he left that spot vacant, and you see number 62 coming in there and making the tackle.
A loss of 11 on the play. And again now, Kelly, Tyrone has a chance to take over the battle of field position.
That's true, and I think it's very important in the first half of this game for Tyrone to continue to gain confidence against this Mount Carmel team. The last 3 games that they've played, they've been considered the underdog, and I think that the more that they are able to pull off plays like that, the better off they're going to be as this game progresses.
And a terrible punt. I'll tell you, you talk about special teams, there's an example of it right there. That punt couldn't have gone more than 20 yards. It's down at the Mount Carmel, looks like about the 39-yard line, so Tyrone's going to set up shop with some excellent field position. And I'll tell you what, the way their defense is playing right now, if they can put some points on the board, it could be enough. 1:48 left in the 1st quarter. Tyrone now taking over possession. 1st and 10 with a chance with this field position to get something on the board. Check it. They're at the 34. Anderson looking over the Red Tornadoes defense. Looks like he might be making a little change there, Coach.
Then a pro left eye. Looks like he changed the play and ran an audible here at the line of scrimmage.
Owens picking up 5.
Okay, ran to the weak side. Marcus Owens following the lead block of Mark Weiland, picked up 5 yards on the play.
How often do you see a kid like Jared Anderson noticing something at this level to be able to option and change the call at the line of scrimmage?
Well, Jared's a 3-year starter, and I'm sure Coach Franco has an awful lot of confidence in him changing the plays, and he gives him that, audible to call if he sees something out there in the field.
All right, brings up 2nd and 5 from the Mount Carmel 29, and again, it looks like, excuse me, that Anderson sees something in that defense that he's going to change up the call. Doesn't work, though. Weiland met immediately at the line of scrimmage. May have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage at the 29, but that was some nice defense there by Joe Cicatano. We're not going to pronounce that one that often today, Kelly. We'll give it one Joe Cicatano, and that's going to be it. No gain on the play. 3rd and 5. Big play for Tyrone when you get down this deep. Anderson, pressure, looking, guns it, intercepted by Dave Evans. He's immediately brought down, but the coverage was there. The pass intended for Weiland, but Evans picks it off. I don't know that, didn't look like Weiland was all that open there, Coach. Let's take a look at the replay.
Well, this is a play-action pass where he likes to go to Mark Weiland out of the backfield. He's looking for Mark Weiland all the way here, and I think Mount Carmel picked that up also. Well, actually, the pass is for number 11.
Andy Wilmer was the intended receiver. Weiland finally comes in and brings down Evans for the stop. But Mount Carmel takes over, and that's our first turnover of the game. They are always crucial in a state championship. 1st and 10. Beach, big opening. Tries to get it to the outside. Down the sidelines. Breaks a tackle, finally taken out of bounds. And for Mount Carmel, that's their first big play of the game, using the momentum of the turnover. Let's take a look at it.
Okay, again, is the counter dive with a trap out on the end. Outstanding running here by Veach. Breaks it to the outside. Tyrone does contain him, though, before he breaks the long run. Tackle out there by Marcus Owens.
Those are the 2 quickest kids on the Mount Carmel team, Dave Evans with the interception and then Brett Veach. You give Brett Veach some room, and there's not very many people on that field who can outrun him.
Pickup of about 20. Handoff to the first back. That would be the fullback. That's Joe Costello picking up some tough yards through the left side of the Tyrone defense. It looks like they're going to give him about 2, brings up 2nd and 8. All right, that's the end of the first quarter. You're watching the PIAA State High School Football Championships from Altoona right here on WTAJ. TV 10 will be right back.
Can I get some milk, please?
She got the last one.
Excuse me, I'll be right back, okay?
I need 2 specials. All right, let's not take half of the bag, huh?
You become a sweet taste in my mouth.
Ooh.
I know you're gonna. Oh, yeah.
Hi, sweet.
Got milk?
Check, please.
Gardner's Candies has been a holiday tradition since 1897. Gardner's famous candies are made from the highest quality ingredients. Gardner's for the original peanut butter meltaways, car meltaways, delicious creams, nuts, and cherries covered with rich chocolate, buttery cashew glaze, peanut brittle, fresh cooked nuts, party trays, and hostess baskets will surely please everyone on your gift list. Shop Gardner's Candies, where elegance is affordable.
At Chronix Jewelers, we say it all.
This Christmas, say it with jewelry from Chronix. Chronix is celebrating their 93rd anniversary with savings on diamond solitaire pendants starting at $79 and 1-carat solitaire diamond rings under $2,000. Save at Chronix. No money down and 3 years to pay. Chronix, Logan Valley Mall, Downtown State College, and Nittany Mall.
Fury Pontiac GMC announces 3.9% 48 months financing or rebates up to $1,000 on Sunfires, Grand Ams, and Bonnievilles. Now you can own Sunfire and Grand Am 2 or 4-door sedans with automatic air conditioning and stereo cassette. Grand Ams are $14,995. Sunfires are $13,995, plus you'll get 3.9% financing. Grand Prix are in stock and waiting for you.
Pontiac GMC will make a believer and make a believer out of you.
back to Mansion Park in Altoona, the state AA championship game. Tyrone and Mount Carmel, 1/4's in the books. We're scoreless. Joining me, Kelly Goodman and Don Bailey. Hope you're enjoying it so far. Tyrone seems to, if you were judging it as you would a fight, I would give the round to Tyrone. But we've got 3 more rounds to go. On a 2nd and 8 carry, Mount Carmel comes out, picks up about 2.
I got number 3, third down, third down.
What we see here is a power play off tackle. Again, the Tyrone defense is strong, and they only pick up approximately 2 yards on the play.
Do you think Mount Carmel has discovered that the power run is not going to be all that successful so far?
I think Mount Carmel is going to have to throw the ball a little bit more often and probably throw on 1st down.
All right,
here you see it's 3rd and 3, and they're in a power I formation. They're going to probably try to run the ball again.
The pitch, the deep back, Beach, using his blockers. Trapped, brought down quickly. What a great play. I'll tell you what, when you've got 3 blockers in front of you and you can come out and make the tackle in front of that many people, you're doing something. Give credit
There's Cliff McElwain. Great play by Cliff McElwain. Comes up, he forced on the corner, and he just made the play.
He shed a blocker. It just wasn't very good blocking on the part of Mount Carmel at the point of attack, so now that forces a 4th and 6. Let's see what this punt does. It's just been an adventure every time they put foot to ball.
Now they've been gaining a lot of field position by the roll of punts and Tyrone not catching it. Tyrone's going to have to catch the football on those punts.
Yeah, Marcus has got to come up and make that play. They just picked up at least 25 yards by that ball rolling, and that's going to happen on an artificial surface. Marcus has got to come up and make that play. All right, Tyrone will take over with their first possession of the 2nd quarter. We're scoreless. And the Golden Eagles now, with their backs to the goal line, face a difficult situation here. Let's see what Mount Carmel's defense can do in this situation. This is where you want to keep Tyrone from getting a 1st down. You want them 3 and out right now. Out of the eye. Owens, your deep back. The handoff goes to Marcus. Brought down immediately, a loss of 2. There to make the stop. Number 83. That's Eric Higgins. He's been playing well for Mount Carmel. He's made quite a few tackles already today.
That was Tyrone's power play off tackle. Mount Carmel answered the same way that Tyrone had. They're stopping the power play, and we're seeing a great defensive struggle so far.
And that's the potential for disaster when you get down this far. You don't want to turn over at this point. It's probably going to be three running plays if Tyrone can't do something to pick up some 1st down yardage here. Anderson, option. Looked like it may have been a broken play. Picks up some nice yards out near the 20-yard line. Gang tackle down at his own 19-yard line. Kelly, that looked a little bit like a broken play. Do you think that was a set play?
That is a set play.
You think? Okay.
That is a set play. They run an option fake one way. The quarterback keeps the ball, reverses out, and they trap the end. They've had an awful lot of success with that play all season long. That's a great play for Tyrone.
All right. Look for it later in the game. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 1. Kelly, what do you do? Run it or throw it?
I think I'd have to throw it.
All right.
No, I'd run it. I'm kidding.
Okay. And that's Owens up over the 20-yard line. It'll be interesting to see where they mark that. It looks like they've got it just about almost to the 21-yard line, which would be enough for a 1st down. Crucial pickup for Tyrone, Kelly.
Yes, and I'm kind of surprised that they're not going with Mark Weiland a little bit more, especially in this short yardage situation. Last week he had 2 touchdowns from the 1-yard line, but Marcus Owens was really the workhorse on those touchdown drives. He got them all the way down there.
All right, Tyrone sending twins to the left. Out of the eye. Anderson hands to the deep back. That's Owens. Not a lot, maybe a yard.
Okay, let him go, let him go.
2nd and 9. At what point in the field, Coach Bailey, do you think that John Franco decides it's safe to maybe put the ball in the air?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm a little surprised that John didn't put it in the air there. He's sometimes a riverboat gambler, and I've seen him put the ball in the air at that point in the field, and I actually look for some kind of play action there, and him booting out to the left and throwing to the twin side. And he'll be looking for number 12 when he does that.
Does that earlier interception maybe give him cause for maybe keeping the ball on the ground?
Well, when you're playing in a state championship game, sometimes you do tend to be a little bit conservative, and you don't want to make any mistakes that will beat you.
All right, brings up a 2nd and 9 from the 22. Owens in motion. Anderson, draw play, Weiland. Picks up some good yardage, tripped up just past the line of scrimmage, but keeps his balance. Picks up about 5 yards. Let's take a look at it on the replay. Kelly, looks like he got tripped up and put his head down.
Well, I think that all of the Tyrone runners will do that. If they look like they're going to get tackled, they lean forward and try to pick up that extra yard or two. Mark Weiland is only a junior, and he's expected to be the featured back next year, along with Jamal Owens.
They give him 5 on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Anderson with receivers to either side. Quick look. Nothing there. Going deep. Overthrown. And that was intended for Matt Scherer. Looked like Scherer was supposed to run a quick out, but the defense was there, and Scherer tried to turn it upfield, Coach.
Right. Whenever he runs the quick out, he has the option. If there's nothing there, to turn it up and try to get up the field and make the safety come over and cover you. Just has to be a perfect throw, though, and it didn't happen on that play.
Well, give credit to Jared Anderson for throwing it only at a place where his receiver was going to make the catch. There was no chance for an interception. All right, that's going to bring up another punting situation for Tyrone. 7:19 left in the first half. And Mount Carmel's going to get another crack at this one with some good field position. Ball hits down at the 42, takes a Tyrone roll inside the Mount Carmel 35. And I'll tell you, on a windy day, that'll work for you. I'll mark it down at the 34. 1st and 10 for Mount Carmel. You know, there is overtime in high school football, and at this rate, I think it might be an option, Kelly.
It very well may be. These two teams are so similar offensively and defensively. It could end up being a defensive battle down to the very last down.
That's one of the things, Coach Bailey, that you talked about before we got into this game, that they mirror each other, both featuring the same kind of running attack, the same kind of defense, and they probably feel like they're facing their practice squad out there, not just to the opponent.
Well, thus far, both teams have been playing outstanding defense.
Here's something different. Kornaski out of the shotgun, looking, plenty of time, guns it, and it is caught. Had to wait for the official to come in and make the official ruling, but that was a gun out there to number 83, Eric Higgins. Nice pickup.
Okay, I think you will see that Mount Carmel feels that they're not going to be able to consistently run the football, so now they're going to have to try to throw it occasionally to loosen Tyrone up a little bit.
Showing respect for the Tyrone pressure that they've been able to get on Kornaski so far. Very nice effort on the part of Higgins there to get down and make that catch. Okay, Kornaski's back under center for a 2nd and 3. Nice move. Beach to midfield. He's got a blocker. Anderson there trying to make the tackle, finally brought down from behind. And number 54 for Tyrone there to make the tackle. We don't have a number for him, but Scott Bossel there to make the tackle. And I'll tell you, Beach just zigged and zagged his way through, used his blockers well. That's another big play. Mount Carmel, a team of big plays, Kelly.
And you can see if you don't get in front of him, you're going to have some problems. Once you get behind him trying to catch him, he's going to outspeed you.
All right, Tyrone coach John Franco coming out onto the field. We have a timeout on the field with Mount Carmel looking at a 1st and 10 from the 32. You're watching the PIAA State High School Football Championships on TV 10.
Tom, can I make a suggestion?
You're fired!
Welcome to eternity.
Heaven. Yeah. Now, wait a minute. Where am I?
Got milk?
Today's championship game brought to you by the Bullpen. The Bullpen, 30 years of promoting sports. This is the greatest. Go Eagles.
I don't want no imitation. Taste is what I'm contemplating.
Whether you're gathering for the game or just fighting the winter chill with friends, be sure to include the finest from the Del Grosso family. Del Grosso meatballs, pizza sauce, sloppy Joe sauce, and thick and chunky salsa. Reach for Del Grosso at your favorite store and guarantee a perfect party.
From Del Grosso Foods, it's where the real stuff comes from.
Amazing. Everything my heart needed was here at home. Altoona Hospital Center for Cardiac Care has every procedure and specialist you could need. They did 500 open-heart bypass surgeries and 2,000 catheterizations last year, more than Hershey or Geisinger. Some local doctors send you to strange cities. I'm glad I got well here at home. The Altoona Hospital Center for Cardiac Care. Experts in matters of the heart.
Well, if you were looking for a four-wheel drive and you were looking for a place to be able to do business, I think you have to come to Nelson's and Tyrone. I think my brothers and I think we can show you some real value for your dollar. Our dealership's not out of the way. You realize no matter where you go in the Blair County area, you can hop in your car, and we're right off the Grazierville exit out of Tyrone.
If you need help with homework, just call 1-800-94-TEACH. Homework hotline on call for you.
Tyrone's championship game tonight at 11:30.
Welcome back, Jim Gregory, Kelly Goodman, and Don Bailey. AA state championship game, Tyrone and Mount Carmel. Tyrone calling its first time out of the game because of this very play, Coach.
Well, this was, again, a counter trap play, and Veach from Mount Carmel makes a great move inside, then goes back outside. And this is just great pursuit, though, from Tyrone from keeping this play from going all the way. As stated earlier, Veach has outstanding speed as he runs a 4.440. So that's great hustle by Tyrone to keep that play from going all the way.
A couple of words of wisdom from Coach Franco now for the Tyrone defense. Let's see what they can do. 1st and 10, Mount Carmel setting up at the 32. Power I breaks up as Evans goes to the right, the quick pitch. And just as you said, Coach, Joe Costello now with the quick hitter, what they've been able to do is kind of set up Tyrone's defense with that passing game now, and now Tyrone doesn't exactly know what to look for. They're back on their heels a bit.
Right, well, here you see a quick pitch to 41, the fullback. This was really a deceiving play because this wasn't the wide halfback on that play. This was the fullback. And I think they were looking for Veach to get that quick pitch.
A running clock approaching 5.5 left before the half. 2nd and 4 with the pickup of 6. Handoff, Veach, spin move. Breaks a tackle, picks up some nice yards. Kelly, he just keeps his feet moving.
He is, and he is a very quick back. Again, one of the quickest on the field. And Tyrone is doing a pretty good job containing him and not letting him break away for those big plays that Mount Carmel has been so successful with.
It'll only take a couple of big plays on either side. Mount Carmel with one just a couple of minutes ago, setting them up with some good field position now. But this could come down to a game of 1, maybe 2 big plays, but it's going to have to be one that gets you all the way to the end zone. That pickup enough to bring on the sticks for a measurement.
We should also mention that Brett Veach is not only an outstanding runner, he's also very capable of catching the ball. Had a 65-yard touchdown last week in the Eastern Final, so he is one of those masters of the big play.
Rick Hatch calling the defensive signals for Tyrone as the Golden Eagles now find themselves trying to bend but not break, as Mount Carmel has another first down at the Tyrone 21-yard line. This is Mount Carmel's deepest penetration of the game. Fake handoff, out. Veach quickly knocked down. That was a great play in the backfield for Tyrone.
Matt Scher.
Yeah, Matt Scher came up and hit him hard.
Yeah, Matt Scher playing on the corner here does an outstanding job of forcing this play. Keeps the play inside of him. And here Matt Scher comes up and makes the tackle. Great play by Matt Scher.
They're going to mark it as a loss of about a yard. Brings up 2nd and 11. Down to 4.5 left in the half. Hope you're enjoying it. Tyrone, Mount Carmel, right here on WTAJ TV 10. In motion goes Evans as he sets up to the left side. Kornaski looking for the end zone, but he's not going to find it. He's going to find the Tyrone defense. Jason Brandt there, along with Cliff McElwain to make the tackle. Tyrone's defense answering the call. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 20, Coach. That was almost a secondary sack. He had a lot of time to find somebody.
There was great coverage in the secondary. He couldn't find anyone open. And, of course, the rush did eventually catch up with the quarterback.
A loss of 10. Back to the 32. Receiver split to either side. Evans. Screen pass. Played very well there by Tyrone's defense. I'll tell you, that was not a well-executed screen pass on what was a very big play for Mount Carmel, a 3rd and 20, Kelly.
No, it wasn't. I don't think Tyrone fans are going to know what to do if this game is tied at halftime, and they don't have to sit through halftime biting their nails.
I'll tell you, Tyrone was quickly in there. Ken Parks in the face of Kornaski, and we have another timeout on the field. No indication as to which team called the timeout. This may actually be an official's timeout. Rick Hatch coming out this time. John Franco the last time coming out to talk to the defense. Why does Rick come out this time, Coach?
Well, I think Rick calls most of the defensive signals, and probably Rick's out this time because he is a defensive coordinator. But John felt probably with the momentum changing the way it did last time and the big play, he wanted to come out and talk to his team himself.
All right, this is an interesting call for Mount Carmel. Pretty much the same position that Tyrone was in on a 4th down call in the first quarter rather than punt. Because of the field position, they rather go for the 1st down, but at least Tyrone had a chance. They weren't facing a 4th and 20, but it looks like Mount Carmel is really in no position to punt the ball. You're only going to put it in the end zone. They're going to try and pick up some yards here.
Well, I think they're going to probably try to get the 1st down, if not go for the touchdown. They're not going to punt the football in this area of the field.
Kornaski in an interesting formation, out of the shotgun, plenty of time, deep, over the middle, caught, Evans, touchdown. A huge play on 4th and 20 from the 32-yard line, out of shotgun formation. Take a look at it for Mount Carmel.
We said Mount Carmel was a big play team, and this is certainly one of those big plays.
He just gunned that ball to Evans. He had to thread the needle. Scherer there defensively tries to make a shirt tail tackle. Can't do it. Evans falls into the end zone, and we have our first points of the game. The extra point up and good. Mount Carmel using the big play. Goes on top. 7-0. Okay, we have a flag down on the field. Let's wait for the call.
Roughing the kicker.
Roughing the kicker. That'll be, I assume, declined, yes. They'll keep the points on the board. And Mount Carmel takes the first lead of the ball game, 7-0. Coach, I'm a little surprised that Tyrone would give up the big play there in that situation.
Well, what Mount Carmel had done, they took and ran the safety off and brought the wide receiver in behind the safety. As you saw there, number 27 is going to, you see the safety clearing out. Now, 27's coming in behind there, right there. And the safety's late getting over there. You see the safety coming over there now. And that was a great call by Coach Williams from Mount Carmel.
You see an example also then of Mount Carmel's ability to be so balanced offensively that they have Beach when they want to run the football, but when they want to throw it, Kornaski's thrown for over 2,000 yards this season.
Both to Evans and to Beach.
All right, you see the time remaining in the first half. Tyrone doesn't want to go to the locker room with this kind of momentum going against them. We're going to mark this penalty off on the kickoff. I thought when it was declined that they would mark it off. It could be accepted, keep the points on the board, and then mark it off on the kickoff. So they'll take it out to, what, the 45 of Tyrone for the kickoff here?
Right.
Yeah, 45-yard line. So that does not make things any easier for Tyrone falling behind. You give up the touchdown, and then you commit the roughing the kicker penalty on the extra point. That makes things awful tough. But I've always wondered as a coach, when you see a team with an opportunity to onside kick at this point, why you don't do it. Instead, you mostly see teams just boot it away and let your defense do the work.
It depends on the confidence that you have in your defense. If you feel your defense can stop the other team anywhere in the field, the onside kick is a good call at this time. However, I think Mount Carmel will probably kick the ball in the end zone and hopefully stop Tyrone down here, maybe get another shot at getting some more points on the board.
All right, try and pin Tyrone back. You definitely don't want to put it in the end zone at this point. Boot it away, and yeah, okay, into the end zone. And that's going to be a touchback automatically for Tyrone, so they'll take over 1st and 10 from their own 20 with 3:28 left. Tyrone needs a nice drive down the field, but they don't have a lot of time. They have a couple of timeouts left to work with, so let's see what they can do as they set up shop.
That touchdown might have been just enough to make Tyrone a little bit mad before they go to halftime. They're a very emotional team, and they're a team that sort of rides the wave, and this could be exactly what they need.
Coach Bailey, you know what it's like to take on a angry Tyrone team.
Yeah, we ran back a kickoff and made them upset, and then they came back and just took it to us the rest of the game.
All right, Anderson looking to the air. Thrown to Weiland, but he's quickly brought down. Mount Carmel had that one smelled out from the get-go. Higgins is there to bring him down.
Higgins, the defensive end, just read that play from the onset. You will see he just runs out there with a screen back, and he sits and waits till the ball is thrown and reacts. Great play out there by Higgins.
Tyrone lucky that that ball may not have been picked off. There were just a lot of red jerseys out there. It's a loss of about a yard. It's going to bring up 2nd and 11. We're under 3 minutes to play.
I think if you see Mount Carmel stopping this play for a short or little gain, that they'll use one of their timeouts to try to get the football back.
It's an excellent point. All right, Tyrone out of the eye. Power right formation as they go to Owens. Picking his way up over the 20, out to about the 23 before he's brought down by some red jerseys. And the clock is going to continue running. Let's see whether or not Mount Carmel does, as you said, Coach, call the timeout here and try and take advantage of the field position.
You see here a power play off tackle again by Marcus Owens. Tyrone now just wants to get a first down or two and not give the football back to Mount Carmel with another chance to put points on the board before the half.
And look at how many red jerseys it takes to bring down Marcus Owens.
I would think this is a situation here where you go to the air in this situation, Coach, 3rd and 6, this deep with this much time left.
I'm not sure if I would, but as I said before, Coach Franco's a riverboat gambler. He may throw the football.
Quick out. Almost picked off by Beach. Intended out there for Matt Scherer. A dangerous, dangerous throw. Yeah, John Franco is a gambler. He was looking to win that one with a pair of deuces. I'll tell you, Anderson had some pressure in his face, too. I don't know that he even saw Beach out there. That brings up a 4th and 6. And with a $1:56 left in the first half, Kelly, Mount Carmel's going to get some good field position here with another chance for some points.
That's right, and this is a very important series for the Tyrone defense. They do not want to go into halftime down by 2 touchdowns. That's exactly what happened against Aliquippa last week, and they were able to come back, but in a state championship game, that's an awful lot to count on.
Line drive kick, mishandled. Back to the 35. For Mount Carmel, that's Pete Abellino mishandling a line drive punt. Usually that works against the punting team, but in this case it worked in Tyrone's favor. Abellino mishandling the punt. As you see it on instant replay, he just didn't know how to come up and play it.
Number 1.
Give credit to the Tyrone special teams to get down there quickly and bring him down. There for Tyrone to make the tackle, Ryan Garland. So with a $1:45 left in the first half, Mount Carmel on top by a touchdown, looking for more before we head to halftime intermission. That's Costello in motion. They hand to Beach. Tries to find some running room, can't. That's not gonna result in any yardage. That's back to the line of scrimmage. The clock can. Okay, I'll tell you what. Somebody's calling a timeout. The clock is stopped at 1:39. Flag on the play.
On the red, white.
I don't even have to tell you what the penalty was. The nice thing about the state championship games,
Motion on the white, decline, 2nd down.
the officials are mic'd.
Just like the NFL.
It is.
Right here in Altoona.
That's why we love doing these games. Hope you're enjoying it, everybody. Right now, Tyrone fans not enjoying it as much as they would like, trailing 7-0, and the clock continues to run. And Mount Carmel not exactly hustling to try and get these plays off, Coach.
I think Mount Carmel might just be satisfied going in with a 7-0 lead, and I don't think they want to do anything that's going to give Tyrone a chance to make an interception or a big play to get back in this game right before the half.
Looks that way, but I'll tell you what, Beach can give you a big play whenever you need it as he picks up first down yardage out near midfield.
I think he ran into his own man on that play.
We'll see it. Let's take a look.
Again, here's that counter dive. You see the trapping guard coming out, makes a good block on the end. Again, Beach has the ability to go all the way on any given play. And I think if they get another first down and have a little bit of time on the clock, you may see the football in the air.
We said it was out near midfield. They mark it down at the Mount Carmel 48-yard line, 1st and 10, under a minute to play in the second quarter. Kornaski getting some pressure. Brand is there, but Kornaski's going deep. Down there is Evans, but also down there for Tyrone is Marcus Owens, and the ball falls incomplete. that was a close call because Evans almost came down with that one.
Marcus Owens also came down with that too, I think.
Let's take a look at it on instant replay, Coach.
Well, you see here a great play here by Marcus Owens and Evans, and you know both players made a great attempt to make the catch on that football, and Marcus Owens made a little bit more of an attempt to knock the football out, and he was able to do that.
Kelly, that was just a battle of two athletes. Marcus Owens, not just an excellent football player, but we're going to talk about him the rest of this school year.
Yes, I'm sure we will. He's an outstanding track athlete who's been to the state track finals the last couple of years. We will be hearing a lot about Marcus Owens.
It'll be interesting to see where he decides to play his college football, but right now he's worried about his high school career. Playing his final game as Kornaski fakes the pitch to the left, comes back to the right. He was looking for Sean Jamin, but his pass is overthrown, stopping the clock with 42 seconds left. That's going to bring up 3rd and 10 for Mount Carmel. I'll tell you, if I'm Coach Williams from Mount Carmel at this point, I say, hey, Mr. Veach, let's give you the ball and see what you can do again.
Well, I think you might see a draw play here because he's probably a little bit leery about throwing the football and getting it intercepted if it's a short pass. Needs 10 yards for a first down. And a draw play is a pretty safe play at this time. So I'm looking for a draw play from Mount Carmel at this particular time.
There's a timeout on the field, and Kelly, we've talked to Coach Hatch about this.
The shorts or the hair? Which
well, you know, he got the head shave after winning the district championship. So, Coach Bailey, you were responsible for that. The beard comes off, I understand, if they win the state championship.
And that I would like to see. The Tyrone team, the whole team shaved their heads at the beginning of the season, and as it's grown back, you've seen some very interesting little designs coming up on the top of their head, which you don't really notice when you're at practice with them or at a game, but then as soon as they take the helmet off after the game, you're going, what are they thinking? They might have to shave before basketball again.
But, Coach, as we get ready for this play, though, quickly, this is just an example of team unity. These guys are all together. They all want to do the same thing.
Well, you know, Tyrone has a community that loves the football team, and these kids have given an awful lot to love this year. And I think the team unity is there, and the community unity is also there.
All right, 3rd and 10. Kornaski going over the top. Intended for Veach. Intercepted by Matt Scherer. Breaks a tackle. Down the sidelines. Looking for blockers. Taken out of bounds by Higgins. What a great play by Matt Scherer to come up with the interception. Not only come up with the interception, but as an offensive player, he knows what to do once he gets it.
That's right, run the other direction.
Again, this is probably the last thing that Mount Carmel wanted to do is throw an interception and give Tyrone an opportunity to score here before the half. Matt Scherer's in great position, catches the underthrown ball, and makes a good play running with the football after intercepting it.
Let's see where they mark down Tyrone as they take over possession. With 27 seconds left, inside the 30, they mark it at the 28. 1st and 10. Here come the Golden Eagles. Anderson looking deep, going down the sideline. Open is Owens, touchdown, Tyrone!
Talk about emotion and momentum. Tyrone can capitalize on that every single time.
What a great play by Tyrone to come back with the interception. First play, you take advantage of the momentum, and you go to the end zone, Coach.
Okay, you will see that Marcus Owens lines up as the slot back out here, comes all the way across the field, makes a big play, and he's wide open, a great throw into the end zone, a great catch again by Marcus Owens. This is a great play for Tyrone. This could change the entire momentum swing of this game.
What a huge play to go into the locker room with. You come out for the second half, you figure it's 0-0. Tyrone, I would assume, would just play it safe and go for the extra point here.
I think they just pulled a Mount Carmel on the Tornadoes themselves.
Using the big play against them. Tyrone's huddling. Is there some discussion going on here about a possible two-point play?
No, I think Tyrone will kick.
All right. You got another half to play. Don't put yourself in a hole. You've got to use this momentum to go into the locker room. You come out, you kick the extra point. That's what Luke Friday's going to do. He, of course, was an integral part in last week's win over Aliquippa, kicking the game-winning point on Tyrone's second touchdown. Lines it up, boots it. No good. Oh, my. Tough break for Luke Friday and the Tyrone Golden Eagles wide right. So Tyrone, despite the big play, will go to the locker room trailing 7-6, 21 seconds left in the second quarter. Coach, at this point, special teams, we can only say it so many times, but when it comes up, it's an obvious point that you have to talk about.
Well, right now, Mount Carmel has gotten off a big break by Tyrone missing the extra point. But I don't feel that 7-6 is going to win this football game. I think Tyrone's still going to score some more points, and Mount Carmel is going to have to score some more if they want to win.
All right, let's take a look at the replay here. This is the interception that Mount Carmel certainly wishes it had back, because that was just a poorly thrown ball. Now check out the block. That's the advantage of having a lot of two-way players, Kelly, that you have some guys out there that once they turn offense from defense, they know what to do with it. Now here's the touchdown.
Tyrone does have a lot of two-way players. Jared Anderson and Matt Scher often hook up for touchdowns. Anderson, the quarterback, Scher, the receiver. Here the receiver is Marcus Owens for the score.
All right. Tyrone lining up to boot it away. We'll no doubt see something of a squib here, I would think.
I don't think they'll kick it down the field. They don't want any run back at this point.
Give it to one of those big old offensive linemen up front. But it breaks through. Down to the 18-yard line. That's Veach. Looking to pick up some yards. Finally brought down. 13 seconds left before the half. Don't go away. We'll be talking just a bit during the halftime. We'll have halftime statistics for you. Veach. It's always tough to pick up that rolling football when you got 11 guys bearing down on you, but he does a nice job. Picks up some good yardage. But I wouldn't think that Mount Carmel would want to come out and try and do anything here other than take a knee, Kelly.
No, I don't think so. But, you know, the second half has been Tyrone's in the last 3 weeks, and I think that coming it back after halftime, the advantage would have to be with the Golden Eagles. Mount Carmel hasn't trailed very many times and even had close games many times this season.
Korneski is too proud to take a knee. He's going to call the quarterback sneak. And what's he do? He picks up about 12, 15 yards before being taken out of bounds by Marcus Owens with 5 seconds left on the clock. Now, Coach Williams is talking to him. I don't know, with that much time left, do you just throw it as far as you can?
Well, that's a good idea, but I think with the fact that the last time they threw the interception, he doesn't want to take another chance. But he might just air it out here.
Well, he's going back to shotgun formation. He's got 4 wide receivers out. Let's see what he does. From the 47 of Mount Carmel, Korneski. Lots of time, steps up, guns it, deep, spiral, knocked down nicely. Now that's what you like to see a secondary player do.
Matt Morrow.
Don't try to pick it off, just knock it down. Great play, Matt. All right, we're going to the halftime locker room. Mount Carmel leading the state AA championship game over Tyrone by a score of 7-6. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're watching the PIAA State High School Football Championships on WTAJ TV 10.
Hey, cookies. Say, you know, I think our neighbor might like one, too.
Yeah? Well,
Here you go.
Thank you.
Terrific. Excellent.
Got milk? Gardner's Candies has been a holiday tradition since 1897. Gardner's famous candies are made from the highest quality ingredients. Gardner's for the original peanut butter meltaways, car meltaways, delicious creams, nuts, and cherries covered with rich chocolate, buttery cashew glaze, peanut brittle, fresh cooked nuts, party trays, and hostess baskets will surely please everyone on your gift list. Shop Gardner's Candies, where elegance is affordable.
At Chronix Jewelers, we say it all.
This Christmas, say it with jewelry from Chronix. Chronix is celebrating their 93rd anniversary with savings on diamond solitaire pendants starting at $79 and 1-carat solitaire diamond rings under $2,000. Save at Chronix. No money down and 3 years to pay. Chronix, Logan Valley Mall, Downtown State College, and Nittany Mall.
Fury Pontiac GMC announces 3.9% 48 months financing or rebates up to $1,000 on Sunfires, Grand Ams, and Bonnievilles. Now you can own Sunfire and Grand Am 2 or 4-door sedans with automatic air conditioning and stereo cassette. Grand Ams are $14,995. Sunfires are $13,995, plus you'll get 3.9% financing. Grand Prix are in stock and waiting for you.
Welcome back to Altoona's Mansion Park side of the AA State Championship football game. You see the score at the half, or at least let me tell you what it is. Mount Carmel leading Tyrone 7-6. First half of defense, but when both teams needed them, big plays, Coach Don Bailey.
Well, Mount Carmel scored on a fourth.
On the fourth down.
On a fourth down.
Right,
It was 4th and 20 and scored a big touchdown pass on a post route in which they cleared the safeties out.
We're taking a look at some of the replays of the first half. Tyrone had a big play on their first possession. Marcus Owens picking up some big yards. They tried to set the stage for the running game, but when they went to the air, that's when they got into trouble.
Okay, here they go with a bootleg action pass here, looking for the tight end coming across here, Andy Woomer, and it's picked off by number 27.
That's Dave
from Mount Carmel.
Didn't make any sort of run back, but it did prove to be a run stopper, or a drive stopper at least, for the Tyrone Golden Eagles. And then, speaking of great runs, here's Veach for Mount Carmel.
Here's a big play here by Brett Veach of Mount Carmel. Veach, much like Marcus Owens, has the ability to take it the distance on any given down.
And here again, right through the middle.
Again, good moves inside, breaks it out. And here he breaks away here, gets behind his blockers. Again, good pursuit by Tyrone, kept this from being a touchdown all the way.
And then the big play that we started to talk about just a couple of minutes ago, the touchdown on a 4th and 20 from the 32 out of shotgun formation.
Okay, here you see Mount Carmel in the shotgun formation. They clear out the safety, looking for 27 coming across the middle, makes the catch in between the defenders, and takes it in for the touchdown.
Threw it right over the linebacker, threw it exactly where it had to be. But again, big plays would prove to be a key in the first half. Mount Carmel gets greedy.
Here with only 20-some seconds to go in the half, Mount Carmel again tries to get something else going on the scoreboard. Ball was intercepted by Matt Scharr. Does a good job here breaking away and setting up even better field position for Tyrone with, I believe, 27 seconds to go in the half.
That gave Tyrone a chance to go right to the end zone with just about 20 seconds left before halftime. Anderson looking deep.
Okay, and he's looking all the way here for Marcus Owens. Marcus gives a good inside move, breaks it back to the outside here, and is wide open, makes a great catch in the end zone.
That was a huge play. Now, Tyrone didn't kick the extra point through, but it still sends them to the locker room with some momentum, trailing 7-6. We're going to get a chance to take a look at some of the first half statistics, and really, the numbers bear out how equal these two teams are.
As you can see, the rushing game, Mount Carmel has 64 yards, Tyrone has 60. Passing, very few passes have been thrown in the first half. 40 yards for Mount Carmel, 27 for Tyrone. The 27 for Tyrone was a real big one. Turnovers are even, only one penalty in the first half. A defensive struggle thus far.
And both of those turnovers would prove to be costly. Both teams are opportunistic, both of them turning them into points on drives.
Now, as we said before the game, we felt the team that would make the fewest mistakes would win the football game. And so far, we've got a heck of a football game going on, and I still think that's going to happen in the second half. The team that makes the fewest mistakes will win this football game.
It's been a great first half. We're hoping for an even better second half as Mount Carmel and Tyrone have 24 minutes of football to go. Coach, what do you say to the Golden Eagles in the locker room at this point?
Well, first of all, to address the seniors, say, seniors, this is the last 24 minutes you're going to play football at Tyrone High School. We've got an opportunity here to be state champions. Only one AA team can be the state champions, and fellas, it's going to be us. Let's go out there and get them.
I'm ready for it. You got me fired up. The Golden Eagles, you can bet, are fired up. Those fans, well, biting their nails, wondering what the second half has in store. You're watching the PIAA State High School Football Championship game on WTAJ TV 10.
Captain, here's your cookie.
Cookies? Nope.
Today's championship game brought to you by the Bullpen. The Bullpen, 30 years of promoting sports. This is the greatest. Go Eagles.
Fury Pontiac GMC announces 3.9% 48-month financing or rebates up to $1,000 on Sunfires, Grand Ams, and Bonnievilles. Now you can own Sunfire and Grand Am 2 or 4-door sedans with automatic air conditioning and stereo cassette. Grand Ams are $14,995. Sunfires are $13,995, plus you'll get 3.9% financing. Grand Prix are in stock and waiting for you.
Pontiac GMC will make a believer and make a believer out of you.
Gardner's Candies has been a holiday tradition since 1897. Gardner's famous candies are made from the highest quality ingredients. Gardner's for the original peanut butter meltaways, car meltaways, delicious creams, nuts, and cherries covered with rich chocolate, buttery cashew glaze, peanut brittle, fresh cooked nuts, party trays, and hostess baskets will surely please everyone on your gift list. Shop Gardner's Candies, where elegance is affordable.
At Chronix Jewelers, we say it all.
This Christmas, say it with jewelry from Chronix. Chronix is celebrating their 93rd anniversary with savings on diamond solitaire pendants starting at $79 and 1-carat solitaire diamond rings under $2,000. Save at Chronix. No money down and 3 years to pay. Chronix, Logan Valley Mall, Downtown State College, and Nittany Mall.
If you need help with homework, just call 1-800-94-TEACH. Homework hotline on call for you.
Don't miss TV 10's Songs of the Season, beginning December 12th on 10 News at 11.
Welcome back to Mansion Park. Jim Gregory, Kelly Goodman, and Don Bailey as we get set for the opening kickoff to the second half. Kelly Goodman just back from the Tyrone and Mount Carmel locker rooms to try and give us a flavor of what was being said on both sides. We would guess that Mount Carmel is maybe a little bit back on its heels after the way that half ended.
They certainly are. I'd have to give the edge to Tyrone just from listening to the emotion and hearing about the emotion in both locker rooms. Mount Carmel, I heard one of their coaches yelling at their players, "It's not that bad, you're up by 1 point." They acted like they were actually losing this game. I don't know the last time that Mount Carmel was ever winning by just 1 point in a game, except for at the kickoff. Tyrone, to them, this is old hat. Being down by 1 point is an advantage over some of the things that they've come back from in the last couple of weeks. I talked to Craig Starr, their injured tackle, who, you know, first of all, is dying to play today. I think that he would love to be out there. But he said that John Franco just said, just keep doing everything you're doing, do the little things right, don't make mistakes, and hopefully they'll win this ball game.
All right, the kickoff upcoming, but Coach Kelly makes an excellent point. Teams that have not had to struggle with victories all season long, when they get into a tight ball game, don't know what to do. And right now, that could be the situation that Mount Carmel's in, because Tyrone's certainly been in its share of tight ball games.
Well, with the history of Tyrone's season this year, and especially in the playoff run, they've been behind in almost every playoff game. I think Coach Franco might have told us, we've got them right where we want them.
Exactly, because when they get to the fourth quarter, they feel like they can own the fourth quarter with their conditioning.
That's correct. They have an outstanding coaching staff. They will make the minor adjustments they need to make at halftime, and they'll have a good game plan for the second half.
All right, we're set for it.
And Tyrone also knows how to use the clock to their advantage. They don't get spooked when they see a minute and a half on the clock, because they scored against Aliquippa in that much time. They don't get nervous when they see their opponent with a minute and 11 seconds in the half, because they stopped Aliquippa for that long, and they stopped Wilmington for that long as well. They are able to stop big drives, and they're able to come up with big drives themselves when it counts, and that's in the third and fourth quarters.
All right, Tyrone takes the momentum to the locker room, comes out, keeps the momentum, because they're going to get the football to open this third quarter. Deep kickoff at his own 11. Jamal Owens quickly knocked down after a pickup of about 10 yards. There to smack him down, Steve Sinkovich.
But what a back Jamal Owens is going to be. You can see so much of Marcus in him, the quickness and the speed. All he needs is a little bit more experience, and he's going to be something else as well.
All right, here come the Golden Eagles on the attack. 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line. Hope you're enjoying it. We're having a great time bringing it to you. Wide receivers, wide to the right, out of the eye. Anderson looking over the defense. Deep handoff, goes to Owens. Runs into his own blocker, spins off, picks up about 3 yards. Bring up a second down, Coach.
Tyrone came out with a twins right eye formation. ran a power tailback play to the tight end side. They doubled down, kicked the fullback out, and let Marcus Owens pick a place to run.
That's going to bring up 2nd and 7.
You know, I talked to one of the officials at halftime of this game, too, and I said, what do you think? And he said, boy, you can sure see why both teams are here. Just two exceptional teams and a great game to watch for the officials, even.
Fakes the handoff up the middle, gives it to Owens, breaks it outside, trying to get first down yardage, and does. Great balance by Marcus Owens. He saw the first down marker, kept his feet, kept going, picks up what looks to be about 8 yards on the carry, Coach.
Okay, I think you're going to see here in the replay, again, the counter trap here, fake to the fullback, come back to the tailback. Again, Marcus sees the opening to the outside, breaks to the outside, and he picks up enough yards for a first down.
And Rick Hatch makes a nice stop.
1st and 10 now for Tyrone, out to the Golden Eagles 37. Handoff goes to Owens, tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Looked like he may have even tripped over his own man there. Mark Weiland stopped at the point of attack there, couldn't get the block, get the defender out of the way. Owens maybe picks up a yard. That's going to bring up 2nd and 9 as we take a look at the Red Tornadoes, backed by a hill of snow here in Tyrone, but the weather has been outstanding all weekend.
Nothing compared to the snow they had to shovel off the field last year at about this time. You could barely see the field over the drifts.
All right, 2nd and 9 for the Golden Eagles. Quick handoff. Weiland, we've not heard from him in a while, as he breaks it over the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Let's see where they mark it, but a nice pickup on 2nd and 9, Coach.
Okay, Mark Weiland, big, strong inside runner, takes a quick handoff and picks up 4 or 5 yards.
That's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. How crucial is it for a team with the momentum at halftime to come out and try and set and continue the tempo in the second half?
Well, this is a big play right here for Mount Carmel. If they can make the stop here, the momentum may swing back. But if Tyrone makes the first down, it's a big play here.
And the Golden Eagles answer with a big play of their own. Over the middle to Woomer. That was a nice play. They set up the play action with the run a couple of times. And that is a true play action.
Right, they faked it a fullback here to the left side, turn around. They had this tight end split out a little bit and hit him on a quick slant route. Great call by Coach Franco.
That reminds me of a play Andy Woomer made in the Wilmington game on a game-winning drive, and he took the most monstrous hit I've ever seen in a high school game. He said he didn't even feel it. He was just holding on to the ball.
All right, Tyrone with a big play now sets up shop in the Mount Carmel end of the field at the 43, 1st and 10. Owens tackled in the backfield for a loss of 2. Good penetration by the Red Tornadoes interior line. And that play was really set up by Higgins. He gets in there, kind of disrupts the play and allows the other defenders to come in because Owens had to cut it outside.
Right, the defensive end, he just took on the blocker there, and you see that the inside tackler made great penetration. It's just tough to play for a loss of 2 yards.
2nd and 12 now from the 45. 3 receivers in the pattern. Anderson looking deep. He's got a man down there, defended well though. That was Scher defensively there.
I think Scher's looking for a flag on that call.
That was Mac Montgomery down there defensively. I think you're right, Kelly, was looking for some sort of contact to be called. Let's take a look at it on instant replay.
Okay, this is the play Tyrone has had an awful lot of success with all season long. They have the play action going to the left and they boot out to the right. And he's looking for Matt Scher all the way for this play. Great coverage here by number 21.
Yeah, he was looking at the ball the whole way.
All right, we've got 3rd and 12 now from the 45. Let's see if, would a drop play work here or are you going to the air?
I think he's going to go to the air on this one.
All right. Another big play for the Golden Eagles. Over the middle. Wobbly pass. Poorly thrown ball. Anderson was throwing off his back foot there. That pass really had no chance as Scher was the intended receiver. Looks like he ran into one of his fellow receivers as well, Kelly.
Yeah, I think he did, and the pass was a little short. I think he was under some pressure.
Yeah, there was some pressure there. Threw off the back foot, and that really affected the flight of the ball. It may have even been tipped at the line of scrimmage, Bill.
Yeah, it may have been. I think he was really looking for the back coming out of the backfield there, but they had 2 receivers pretty close in the same position there.
All right, that puts Tyrone in a punting situation. from the Golden Eagles 45. A wobbler down to the 13. Beach. Excuse me, that is not Beach for Mount Carmel. That is Dan Malakowski. And we have a fumble. But we had a whistle before the fumble. They're going to mark it down. Tyrone was on it, ready to capitalize, but they're going to mark the ball down with Mount Carmel taking over.
Listen to those Tyrone fans. They are into every ball game from first down to last down.
A lot of folks from Tyrone were worried about the seating capacity on the visitor side of the field here at Mansion Park. I noticed that side is full.
They're spilling over.
They're spilling over to the home side. So Mount Carmel fans are probably feeling a little...
Sandwich.
Yeah, a little sandwich. That's a good word. Here's Beach on 1st and 10. Big carry into the secondary. Finally brought down. Owens there to make the initial tackle with some help.
Okay, here you see a tailback play off that. Great block by the fullback. Again, Beach breaks into the secondary, and he's an outstanding runner, and you can see why people like Notre Dame are interested in him.
Scott Bonsall there to make the assist on the tackle along with Marcus Owens, but a big pickup for Mount Carmel. 1st and 10 now from the 37, and Kornaski just decides to call his own number, must have seen something at the line of scrimmage, picks up a couple of yards before he's finally stopped and thrown back.
Just a little emotion on the field as some of these players play their last half of high school football.
Let's take a look at it. Kornaski just saw something here, right, Coach?
Right. He saw an opening. That's an automatic call by the quarterback. And having a quarterback that large is like having an extra fullback in there. When he runs a quarterback sneak, he runs it with authority.
All right, 2nd and 6 after the pickup of 4. From the 42, Beach slashing his way out near midfield. Before he's finally brought down by Matt Scherer, I'll tell you what, you don't want your secondary people making too many tackles at this point, Coach.
What you see is Mount Carmel's game plan by the looks of things here is they are going to run to the tight end side, double down, kick the end out, and make the secondary make the plays on Beach.
Up to them to then read the play and come up and make the tackle rather than waiting for the runner to get to them.
Right, they're going to have to react whenever they see that tight end blocking down.
All right, they've got to read their keys. From the 49 now, 1st and 10. Mount Carmel handing to Beach, breaking it down inside the 40-yard line, almost breaking it if he could break one more tackle. I don't know what Mount Carmel talked about at the half, but it obviously involved winning the line of scrimmage. They're doing that right now.
Jim, these plays start out with a great block by the fullback. You will see each play we had success with here on this off-tackle play. The fullback kicked the end out and gave Beach room to run. And you give him room to run, he's going to break a big play.
Kelly, I don't think Tyrone's defense takes too kindly to this kind of activity.
No, they do not.
And another big running play for the Red Tornadoes as they go this time to Joe Costello trying to cross up the Golden Eagles defense, Kelly.
And here you see a quick fullback trap. The guard pulls out on the end, makes a good block, and the fullback reads the block, keeps going to the outside, and gets a big gainer.
Did we get a feel at halftime that what Tyrone was talking about defensively that they had to try and do?
I could not hear their exact conversation. All I know is that John Franco told them they needed to continue to do the things that they were doing. I know that John Franco lives and dies by the line of scrimmage, and on defense, he wants to win that line of scrimmage, and that is what won the ball game for them in the second half against Aliquippa last week, and I'm sure he's counting on that in the second half of this ball game as well, though his exact wording I was not privy to.
You may not even want to announce
They
it on
didn't invite me into the locker room.
There you see the coaching staff, John Franco and Rick Hatch. They've been together a long time from their days at Altoona. Hatch, a former head coach at Penn Cambria. Out of the eye, look for Beach, and there it is. Cuts it outside to the 10, inside to the 9, finally brought down by Marcus Owens. Another big pickup by the Red Tornadoes. You know, if they were not with the momentum on their side at halftime, they certainly have it on their side now.
Here you will see that counter dive play again to the tailback. The guard pulls out, traps the end, and again, Beach gets an awful lot of room to run, and he has the ability to make that room and make a big play. But right now, Mount Carmel is winning the line of scrimmage.
All right, the Golden Eagles. They want to bend, but they don't want to break at this point. Down to the 9. 1st and goal. Beach running outside to the 5, to the 3. Finally brought down.
You okay?
Beach just keeps those feet moving. Kelly, we talked about it in the first half. He uses his blockers well. This is not a good position for Tyrone right now.
No, it isn't, but Tyrone has been very successful against opponents in the red zone. They stopped Forest Hills in the red zone with a fumble recovery. They stopped Wilmington and Aliquippa with both interceptions and fumbles. This is not a team that lays down when their opponent gets within the 20-yard line. They are going to keep fighting, and if Mount Carmel does score here, it's going to be well earned because this defense does not roll over.
2nd and goal from the 3. Veach cuts it back inside for the touchdown. Followed his blockers, didn't see anything to the outside, saw the opening to the left, and goes into the end zone for the 3-yard touchdown, and Mount Carmel puts 6 more on the board. Let's take a look at it.
Again, here you see a power play here. Beach sees a little hole opening up to the left side, breaks it over there with great quickness, and scores the touchdown.
13-6, Mount Carmel with a chance to tack on the extra point.
This is a key extra point.
No good. And it's key because?
Well, first of all, if they kick the extra point, they go up 14-8. And then Tyrone's going to have to score twice to get a tie or a win. So now it's 13-6 yet. So now they have a chance with a touchdown, extra point to tie the game and maybe force a possible overtime at the end.
That's why you're here, Coach.
Extra points are something, too, that we take so much for granted, especially watching college football and pro football. But it was the difference in the game last week against Aliquippa, as Tyrone knows very well. They blocked an extra point in the first half, and then Luke Friday, banged one through in the second half, and that proved to be the game winner.
4:40 left in the 3rd quarter. Mount Carmel out on top by 7, and now Tyrone has to answer. They've come up with their share of big plays, but they're going to need some more here. Try and get back on the board.
That's Vic Kornaski on the Mount Carmel sidelines, and I think he's one of the players that they were specifically talking to at halftime, saying, get yourself up, it's not a big deal. He was very distraught after he threw that interception in the first half to Matt Scher, and I don't think you saw a lot of passing plays on that drive. I think they really wanted to get ahead with their running game so that he has some more confidence coming back out onto the field. I think he was very dejected at halftime after giving up that kind of a mistake.
Not something you want from your quarterback or your leader, to show that kind of lack of emotion or momentum during the halftime speech.
But in his defense, he probably hasn't been in that position many times this year. This is a team that scored 300 and 400 points this year and hasn't given up a whole lot.
All right, here's the boot. A short kick down to the 20. Picked up there. Marcus Owens. Brought down at the 28. Tyrone will open its possession. 1st and 10, trailing 13-6.
Tyrone's never been in this position before, have they?
No, never. Coach, what have you noticed in your play against Tyrone, the character that they show in the second half of football games?
Well, first of all, Tyrone will never give up. They will play you in 4 quarters. They will play you for 48 minutes. And I think Tyrone right now has to answer that call of that touchdown that Mount Carmel just put in.
All right. Wide receivers to either side. The pitch, not a good one for Owens. Brings it in. Brought down hard. And a flag is thrown. Let's see what that one's all about. May have been some late activity after the tackle. If it's against Mount Carmel, that would not be a smart play.
Dead ball.
A dead ball.
On the red.
All right.
On the red.
With my captain.
We didn't quite see it on the replay, but it must have been away out of camera range. Here it comes.
Right there.
Okay, Montgomery. I'm not quite sure how to read that one, Coach. He didn't hit it.
Well, I think he tried to avoid it, but he did hit the back of his leg. It was just one of those things. He was going in to make the play. He saw that he was a little bit late, tried to avoid the hit, but still made part of the hit.
All right, but that's a big break for the Golden Eagles. They've got 1st and 10 now from the Tyrone 44. Approaching 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Out of the eye come the Eagles. That familiar motion, familiar position. The pitch goes to Owens. Weiland trying to knock some people out of the way. Owens, lucky if he got back to the line of scrimmage. Mount Carmel just strung that one out the whole way to the sideline.
Well, Marcus Owens did well just to get back to the line of scrimmage. He made an outstanding run just to avoid losing 5 or 6 yards. We'll see here, he breaks a tackle back here, which would result in a 5 or 6 yard loss. And he gets it back to maybe it's only a 1 yard loss.
Sean Jamin, number 30 for the Red Tornadoes, just kept his feet, shed the block, and doesn't allow any yardage picked up by Marcus Owens, bringing up a 2nd and 10.
Right there's a player who would make the All-Madden team, I think, Marcus Owens.
Anderson looking to the air, doesn't hesitate to go deep. Nowhere near his intended receiver, unfortunately, as Matt Scherer was double teamed. There was really no hesitation in that call.
Well, this looked like it was a fade route to Matt Scherer. Mount Carmel had outstanding coverage. The corner stayed with him, and the safety went over for the double coverage.
That's going to bring up a 3rd and long as Vic Kornaski looks to get the ball back. I'll tell you, another touchdown here would, for Mount Carmel would definitely make it tough for Tyrone. So he's thinking if he can get the ball back and put some points on the board, he just might have a state title in his back pocket. So this is a very big play for the Golden Eagles right now.
I'll tell you what, we look for Marcus Owens here coming out here.
Rolling, throwing against his body, intended for Matt Scherer, had it in his fingertips, but could not bring it in. I think he was probably worried about getting the feet in along the sideline. Looks to be okay after going over the bench. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 10, and I would think at this point you're going to boot that ball away. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, you have to punt it away and play defense here.
Jared had all kinds of time, not a lot of pressure. Just couldn't bring it in, could Matt Scherer. And now Crimel's going to get some decent field position out of this one. High snap. Wobbler down to the 21. Fair catch called for, and Mount Carmel will take over. 1st and 10 from just inside their own 22-yard line, holding to a 13-6 lead.
This is a big series for the Tyrone defense. If they can hold for 3 plays here and make them punt the football, get good field position, I think that momentum could swing back again in Tyrone's favor.
Kelly, Tyrone has also forced a lot of turnovers this year. It would be nice to see them try and force one here. They forced 40 during the season, only giving up, that's a plus 25 on the ratio.
That's right, and you have to remember that a lot of those players on defense also play on offense, so they have the skills. They know how to read wide receivers. They know how to read tailbacks, and I think that helps them a lot. You watch Vic Kornaski on the sidelines watching their defense play. Jared Anderson is out there guarding a wide receiver.
Beach holds on to it with both hands, picks up about 6 out to the 28. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 4.
Okay, there's another play that started off to the right. He saw the opening and made the cut back, picked up 6 yards.
Beach is so good at taking advantage of a defense that over pursues that he can make that cut, not like a lot of backs can't make that cut.
Right, the great running backs can make it, the average one can't.
And a short pitch to the fullback. That's Joe Costello. They tried to use Veach as a decoy, running out to the outside. Costello tries to bring it in.
Okay, very dangerous play, throwing that short pitch to the fullback there, because that's a tough ball to catch for the fullback. And that could have been a play that could have been a turnover, but the fullback had the good hands and held on to the football.
A gain of no yards on the play, 3rd and 4. Rick Hatch and John Franco, they need a stop here. Pressure, and the shovel pass smelled out perfectly. Beach dropped for a loss of 2. Great play by the Tyrone defense. Let's take a look at it, Kelly.
Brett Beach is another one of those players that John Franco has so much respect for, his speed, and again we said that he can not only run the ball, but he can also catch it, but he met his match right there on the Tyrone line.
Okay, I think that was the linebacker Bonzel that made the play there.
Wow, did you see that? I thought he was going to fake it. And it takes a Tyrone bounce on the punt. The punter for Mount Carmel. That was a 5-step kick. I don't think I've ever seen that before. You don't teach that, do you, Coach?
Well, I tell you what, I think that the Tyrone player had an opportunity to block that ball, and that might have been a great play there by the Mount Carmel kicker, who faked the kick.
That's a good point. 1:17 left in the 3rd quarter. It's getting down to the point where I'm sure the fingernails, there was probably not a whole lot left with the fingernails to bite at this point.
Not after last week and the week before and the week before. I know I don't have any left.
All right, Tyrone with an important possession. They need to get some points on the board. Trailing 13-6, they take over. 1st and 10 from their own 37. The call goes to Marcus Owens. Met almost immediately at the line of scrimmage. That's number 66, Joe Cicatano. And they're going to mark it down as no gain, 2nd and 10.
Okay, you see, Tyrone has the same idea of running the football the second half of Mount Carmel. They're trying to run the football to the tight end side, but they're not having the success that Mount Carmel's had. They're not getting that initial block made, and there's too much penetration.
Again, the end, number 83, Higgins, disrupted the play a little bit, forcing Owens back inside. That's exactly what the end's supposed to do. 2nd and 10. Clock running under a minute left in the quarter. The reverse. And it's given to number 30 for Tyrone. That's Jeremy LaRosa. Kelly, I'll give you credit. You said he was going to be a key player in this game before we started the broadcast, and right there, he's an important player on that play.
Well, he's one of those players who can jump up and surprise you, as Coach said before the game. He had an interception to seal the Wilmington victory at Sharon. He also had a fumble recovery and a touchdown catch against Forest Hills. And he's someone that you don't really key on. He's not a Matt Scher or a Marcus Owens, but he can really do some damage.
All right, another big play. 3rd and 1 from the 46. Power formation. I'd say they're probably going to go to the right here, Coach. Owens. Great play to avoid the tackler in the backfield. Picks up 1st down yardage and more inside Mount Carmel territory.
That was an outstanding run by Marcus Owens. You'll see here in the replay, they had some penetration here. He avoids the tackle in the backfield, finds a hole, picks up enough yardage for the 1st down.
I'll tell you, when these Golden Eagles need yards, as they showed us against Aliquippa and Jared Anderson on that 4th and long in the 4th quarter last week, they just know how to find it. I don't know what it is. They just have a knack for finding it.
You know what it is? I think it's just that they become so desperate almost. I think that they just really thrive on their desperation, and somehow they find a way to do it. Jared Anderson had to hurdle about 3 players to pick up that 1st down, and he just managed to do it.
They're throwing on 1st and 10. Anderson tucks it. Probably a good decision, although he only picks up 3. There were just a lot of red jerseys out there.
Well, also, there was outstanding coverage here by Mount Carmel, and Jared Anderson, who's an outstanding runner himself, has the ability to, when he goes back to throw, if it's not there, he will run with the football, and here he picks up 2 or 3 yards, and he doesn't throw the interception because there was great coverage.
Last play of the quarter. We're going to take a break and come back with the 4th quarter. You're watching the PIAA State High School Football Championship game on WTAJ TV 10.
Gentlemen, our future rests on the success of this cookie.
Yes, CW. But what do we name it?
How about Wafericious? Twist out cookie.
I've got it! Chocolama!
What about you, Hurley?
Well, Hurley, you're a genius.
Got milk?
Amazing. Everything my heart needed was here at home. Altoona Hospital Center for Cardiac Care has every procedure and specialist you could need. They did 500 open-heart bypass surgeries and 2,000 catheterizations last year, more than Hershey or Geisinger. Some local doctors send you to strange cities. I'm glad I got well here at home. The Altoona Hospital Center for Cardiac Care. Experts in matters of the heart.
I don't want no imitation. Taste is what I'm contemplating.
Whether you're gathering for the game or just fighting the winter chill with friends, be sure to include the finest from the Del Grosso family. Del Grosso meatballs, pizza sauce, sloppy Joe sauce, and thick and chunky salsa. Reach for Del Grosso at your favorite store and guarantee a perfect party.
From Del Grosso Foods, it's where the real stuff comes from.
You won't pay any more money to come to Tyrone to buy a car. In fact, you may save some money. Because you got to understand our overhead is much, much lower in Tyrone than it would be in Altoona or State College or any of the other larger areas. We take great pride in our used vehicles, both cars and trucks. And believe me, if we didn't like it, it wouldn't be for sale. I think that makes a difference.
All right, we're down to 12 minutes of football for the state AA championship. Mount Carmel holding to the 7-point lead over Tyrone. But the fourth quarter, as we've said before, and we've seen before, the Golden Eagles like to think they rule the roost in the fourth.
That's true, and it's hard to believe that on a team that plays so many men both ways, that they just seem to add momentum, add energy. They don't get tired, and they save their best 12 minutes for last. After the game against Wilmington last week, or against Aliquippa last week, I heard one of the players in the huddle say, the fourth quarter is ours, and they really have that attitude that in this situation, they have the upper hand, even though they might not be on top on the scoreboard.
All right, here we go. From the 47 of Mount Carmel. Anderson faking the pitch into the middle, tucks it and rolls to his right to pick up, we'll give him 2 or 3 yards on the carry. We'll wait for the official to mark it down. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 8 for Tyrone.
Okay, that was that quarterback option where he fakes to the fullback, fakes like he's going to run the option to the left, reverses out, and the left guard traps out on the right end. This time, however, Mount Carmel read the play and was there to make the play on defense.
Golden Eagles now facing a 3rd and 6. From the Mount Carmel 45. Is this 4-down territory yet, Coach?
No, I don't believe it is yet. Not with this much time left.
Not with this much time. Okay. That's Owens in motion. Anderson looking to the air. He has Owens open. Intercepted. Evans picking it off. He's got room. He's got blockers. He's got Green in front of him. He's got the end zone. Dave Evans with the touchdown. A miscommunication between Jared Anderson and Marcus Owens. Owens was open in the flat, turned his head. Anderson throws it. Evans is there to pick it off, and that is a huge play for Mount Carmel. Take a look at it.
Okay, what you're going to see here is the cornerback, Evans, just sits, reads the play, and the ball is thrown right to him. He has nothing but green turf ahead of him. And with his outstanding speed, that no one from Tyrone is going to catch him.
He's one of those players that run the 4-4, and it's just once he gets open field, you're not going to catch him from behind.
Turnovers played a key part in the first half, and that's certainly a huge key to this second half so far. After a scoreless, after one touchdown third quarter, Mount Carmel's on the board. The extra point is no good again, so at least Tyrone gets that break. They're now down 19-6. Mount Carmel fans with plenty to cheer about. Tyrone, they've had to come back before, but they have to be wondering, can we do it again?
Here's another look at the return.
Evans just was really, that was almost like the Steelers in the Super Bowl last year. That was an easy interception.
And he's looking for Marcus Owens, but Marcus didn't turn around in time, and he was just sitting there, and it was thrown right to him. And again, with the outstanding speed he has, 4.4 speed in the 40, there wasn't anyone from Tyrone going to catch him. Not with that much open field.
All right, Tyrone's offense will have to go to work quickly. 11:04 remaining in the ball game. They're down 2 touchdowns.
But I don't think you're going to see any Tyrone fans leaving the stadium early the way that Tyrone has really been in the fourth quarter. They're still going to make a game out of this.
And Tyrone has the never quit attitude, and they're still going to play the last 11 minutes and 4 seconds. And the game's not over until that final buzzer goes off, and Tyrone firmly believes that.
Be nice to see a substantial return here to give Tyrone something to work with. From the 40, short, high kick. Jamal Owens looking for some blockers. Gets to the point of attack, taken down at the 27, ridden back to the 23. We'll wait to see where they set it up, but Tyrone, 1st and 10, under 11 minutes to play, still reeling from the interception and return for a touchdown. Jared Anderson now has to come right back out and try and make something happen. Can't let that play affect him.
Well, Jared again now is in a position where they're going to have to put the ball up to get some points in a hurry, but they still can't basically try to go deep and get it all in one play. They've got to work their way up the field, still do what they do best, use the play action passes. And I think they have the ability to get back in this ball game yet.
They put it down at the 27, whistle on the field, a flag, and Mount Carmel getting an indication that it's going to be against the Golden Eagles. And you know, when you see that happen, you start to wonder if the wheels are falling off a little bit, because we have not seen that penalty the entire game. This has been a penalty-free ball game.
Well, probably someone on the offensive line moved their hand or something once they got set, because that's just a penalty that occurs sometimes. But, you know, some of these kids from Tyrone are ready to get the play off, and they just moved a little bit early.
This panic is not a word, Kelly, that the Golden Eagles are familiar with.
No, again, they're not a team that panics at the sight of 10 minutes and 57 seconds on the scoreboard. They've put together drives very efficiently. They've stopped teams very efficiently, and they're not worried by the clock.
Pass intended over the middle for Woomer. We've got a flag, though. Looks like they're going to throw a pass interference penalty in there. There defensively for Mount Carmel is number 29. Let's take a look at the replay. That's Dan Malakowski.
Pass interference on the red. Incomplete pass.
Okay, they try to get the ball
take the penalty
up high
from
to
here,
Andy
March
Woomer, and
15,
Andy's hit from
automatic
behind before the ball gets there.
Looks like it's the contact of the arm down below around the waist that they were probably calling. Well, you just got to love instant replay.
Automatic first down.
It's certainly a lot easier to call the play after you've already seen it.
Coaches, I bet you wish you had it all the time as a head coach.
Well, maybe I wouldn't have made some of the bad calls I've made over the years.
First and 10 now as the Golden Eagles get the automatic first. From the Golden Eagles 37. 3 receivers going out, the drop play, and buried is Weiland. Wow, that was not a well-executed drop play. Joe Cicatano was expecting it, brings him down immediately.
Okay, here you see Tyrone has 4 wide receivers. They try to spread the defense out, but Cicatano from Mount Carmel, he didn't buy that. He was right in the backfield and made the play.
They call it a loss of 5, 2nd and 15 now. From the 32.
Okay, again, Tyrone's in the 4 receiver set.
I think that's maybe the first time we've seen it today. Anderson in trouble and drop. Mount Carmel's defense smelling blood, smelling the pass, pinning those ears back and rushing and not worrying too much about the run at all.
Okay, right. This is a situation, they pay no attention to the play action. They just reared their ears back and they went after the quarterback. Great play here by number 30, the defensive end.
Sean Jamin in with the tackle, and that's another loss, a big one of 11 yards this time, 3rd and 26. And at this point, when you're this far backed up, can you afford to try and go for the big play to get the first down, or do you just try and cut your losses and try and get them 3 and out quickly enough?
Well, I don't think you can go for the first down here. I think you've got to try to get the biggest play you can get and hope that nothing bad happens.
All right, the incompletion intended for Matt Scherer over the middle. The ball was thrown behind him. He had no chance to make the catch. And that's going to bring up now 4th and 26, and Tyrone has no choice. They've got to boot it away.
Well, that was a great defensive series for Mount Carmel. They had an idea that Tyrone was going to try to throw the football, and whenever they did, they put their ears back, they rushed the passer. Whenever they ran a draw, they were there waiting for that also.
Kelly, you've seen Jared Anderson in so many games this year. This has not been one of his better passing performances.
No, but, you know, a lot of times Jared Anderson, you know, he threw an interception into the end zone against Aliquippa last week, and he came back with a lot of poise, and he engineered the game-winning drive. You know, he's not a player that gets rattled or gets down. You know, I think he accepts that he's not perfect, that he's going to make a mistake now and then, but he doesn't let that get him down, and you're not going to see Jared Anderson, you know, running from that kind of a mistake. He's going to come back and play tough in the last 9-19 in this ball game.
All right, well, they're going to need him on defense now, and Tyrone's defense has to force the 3 and out because Mount Carmel's taking over with excellent field position inside Tyrone territory.
I think you're going to see a lot of the off-tackle plays here by Brett Beach.
The deep handoff to Beach. Picks up maybe a yard. They may give him 2. Inside the 45. Clock now a factor. Under 9:10, approaching 9 to play in the ball game.
Okay, here again, you see the power play off tackle again. Beach cuts back. However, Tyrone this time does a great job of playing defense and makes the play for about a 1 or 2 yard gain.
Brings up 2nd and 9. The inside handoff goes to Evans. Breaks a tackle, scoots his way down to about the 36-yard line. And this Evans kid, we didn't hear a lot about him. We knew about his speed, but he has been, I would say, the most valuable player in this game. for Mount Carmel.
Well, anytime you run a tight slot, you've got the slot counter play, and this is the first time we've seen it today. Mount Carmel picked a very good time to run it. And Evans does a good job, although the play was initially stopped at the line of scrimmage. He made the cut back and picked up enough yardage where we're close to the first down, where he has the first down.
3rd and 1. Kelly, do we know a lot about this Evans kid coming in?
We knew that he was very quick. That was one of the players that John Franco said that they would have to watch for, that the wide receiver and the tailback threat between Evans and Beach would be, could be deadly for Tyrone.
Kornowski just pulling his way ahead for first down yardage. Mount Carmel, I'll tell you what, you said it before, they have an advantage. That's almost a third fullback. He just leans his way forward.
He's an awful big quarterback, 6'3", 220, and he just powers when he runs a quarterback sneak.
1st and 10 now with the clock under 8 minutes to go. From the Tyrone 32-yard line. The Golden Eagles have to stop them here. Need to get a turnover. Something good has to happen for the Golden Eagles. When do timeouts become a factor here, Coach, as they continue to pick up yardage?
Okay, right after we see this replay here, we see a quick fullback trap here, and Tyrone just fills the gaps, does a great job here. The time becomes a factor when you get down to around 5 minutes, and Mount Carmel still has the football.
All right.
Right now, they've got to stop Mount Carmel immediately.
And you always run the risk of when you start tackling the football that somebody's going to break out of that tackle. Let's see what happens. All right, Kornowski's gambling a bit. Wanted to throw, tucks it in, and takes it inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. The clock, though, is still running. Did they mark him out of bounds, or did they keep him in bounds? They're saying that he stayed in bounds.
Jim,
go ahead, Coach.
Jim, I'm not sure, but I think that was a broken play. I think he missed the handoff, and he found himself back there. He had to run the football. I don't think there was any intent to pass there.
Okay. Kornowski, you can see him talking to his teammates there. That I think you make a good observation there that he's trying to say what happened and why he ended up with the football at a time when he wasn't supposed to.
Big play for Tyrone now, 3rd and 6. They've got to make a defensive stop here.
The deep handoff to Beach. Breaks a tackle. Gang tackled. Finally brought down at about the 37-yard line. The clock at 6 minutes and counting now. Mount Carmel with a 13-point lead. From this point in the field, when you're up 2 touchdowns, I would think that you're not necessarily looking at a punt.
No, they're going to run the football and try to get the first down.
Exactly.
They want to keep the ball as long as they can. They've got short yardage here, and I think they're going to run the football probably to Veach again.
All right, because you put it in the hands of your defense, Tyrone is certainly not going to get great field position, even if they make the stop here.
And we got to keep in mind that Tyrone has to score twice.
Out of the shotgun. Looking over the middle, now looking to his left. Kornowski throws, intercepted. That's the play that Tyrone needed. Scher tackled from behind. No, he breaks the tackle, gets out to midfield, and that is a huge break. Man, somebody get a head coach over there from Mount Carmel that doesn't get greedy and just keep Tyrone in this ball game. That is unbelievable.
Well, he gambled there, and he went for the 5 yards with the pass for the first down. And again, Matt Scher is in the right place, makes a big play. Seems like it's deja vu at the end of the first half here. Puts Tyrone back into the football game with excellent field position.
Kelly, coaches aren't going to second-guess coaches, but we can, and I can't believe that they would call that play.
Well, I think that Mount Carmel has blown out so many people this season that maybe they underestimate Tyrone. You know, they get that 13-point lead and they start thinking they're not as good as maybe we thought they were at halftime.
Little screen set up, the flanker screen there set up across the middle as he breaks in his...
41.
41 makes the tackle, and for Tyrone, the catch is good for a couple of yards.
LaRosa.
Yeah, LaRosa there with the catch.
Joe Costello, the tackle.
Joe Costello made an outstanding play there for Mount Carmel. He read the play right from the beginning. He just sat and held his position, and when the ball was thrown, he made the play.
Okay, they call it a no-gainer for Tyrone, 2nd and 10. The 4 receivers set for the Golden Eagles. Pressure from the blind side. Look out. Flag on the play. Complete. To LaRosa at the 40. They He must have had a knee down because he immediately stopped, did not try to turn and run. The official there to make the call. Let's see what the flag's all about back in the backfield.
Coach, I think we're going to have a hold in the backfield there.
Pass is complete.
Looked like one defender from the left side beat the offensive tackle, and then it looked like he just grabbed the hold of him when he ran by.
We have holding on you guys, 55. All right, you're going to take it or you're going to...
We're listening to the officials here. This is
It's going to be holding on Mount Carmel,
no,
I think.
I think we see the holding right here by number 55 for Tyrone, basically tackling Higgins on the play. Didn't really have a chance to make a better play. That's Luke Friday.
Initially, they said pass complete.
They did say pass complete, but the play will come back on the holding penalty by Luke Friday.
Wind it.
Okay, you hear the official. Wind the clock. Not great positioning for the Golden Eagles. Not a good time for a penalty after the pickup that would have put the Golden Eagles at the Mount Carmel 40-yard line. Instead, now it brings up a 2nd and 23 from the Golden Eagles 34-yard line.
Well, here you see the full receiver set again.
Quick hitter intended for Matt Scher. Thrown at his feet, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 23. You see the time remaining.
We're done.
Okay, Tyrone doesn't have much of a choice now. They've got to go for the first down. They're going to have to put the ball down the field.
Mount Carmel has been here before. The Golden Eagles here for the first time, but you get the impression that we could see Tyrone here again. This is an up-and-coming program in the state, one that in this area has made a name for itself. Looking to make a name for itself right here on 3rd and 23. Long pass intended for Marcus Owens. Can't bring it in. Montgomery there defensively. A nice pass by Jared Anderson, but Owens just couldn't bring it in.
The ball was very well thrown. There was a very good route. Just went off the fingertips of Marcus Owens. It's a good play for that situation.
And now on 4th and 23 with 3:55 left, the Golden Eagles, I believe, are going to call a timeout to talk about what their strategy is in this situation. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. You're watching the PIAA State High School Football Championships on WTAJ TV 10.
The mystery of the blinking rings. And now, my finest illusion. Voila! Empty! Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, no, please don't get up. You're too kind. Thank you.
Just yours.
It's not necessary for you to...
Got milk.
No.
Today's championship game brought to you by the Bullpen. The Bullpen, 30 years of promoting sports. This is the greatest. Go Eagles.
Gardner's Candies has been a holiday tradition since 1897. Gardner's famous candies are made from the highest quality ingredients. Gardner's for the original peanut butter meltaways, car meltaways, delicious creams, nuts, and cherries covered with rich chocolate. Buttery cashew glaze, peanut brittle, fresh cooked nuts, party trays, and hostess baskets will surely please everyone on your gift list. Shop Gardner's Candies, where elegance is affordable.
At Chronix Jewelers, we say it all.
This Christmas, say it with jewelry from Chronix. Chronix is celebrating their 93rd anniversary with savings on diamond solitaire pendants starting at $79 and 1-carat solitaire diamond rings under $2,000. Save at Chronix. No money down and 3 years to pay. Chronix, Logan Valley Mall, Downtown State College, and Nittany Mall.
Fury Pontiac GMC announces 3.9% 48-month financing or rebates up to $1,000 on Sunfires, Grand Ams, and Bonnievilles. Now you can own Sunfire and Grand Am 2 or 4-door sedans with automatic air conditioning and stereo cassette. Grand Ams are $14,995. Sunfires are $13,995, plus you'll get 3.9% financing. Grand Prix are in stock and waiting for you.
Fury Pontiac GMC will make a believer and make a believer out of you.
Hey, if you got a TV, you'd better watch my show at 10 a.m. only on TV 10.
Don't miss TV 10's Songs of the Season beginning December 12th on 10 News this morning.
Welcome back to Mansion Park. Jim Gregory along with Kelly Goodman and Don Bailey bringing you the AA State Football Championship game. You have Mount Carmel leading Tyrone by 2 touchdowns, and the Golden Eagles are in a very difficult situation right now. John Franco is in there facing a 4th and 23, telling his team, hey, it's not, we still have one more chance. We've got to make this play. We're a team of big plays. We can do it.
Timeout is over, Coach.
There's your obligatory Got Milk banner.
Tyrone's in a very difficult situation now with 4th and 23 with only a little bit over 3 minutes left to go in the football game. They've got to go for the first down here, even though if they do give it up, they know that Mount Carmel's going to have outstanding field position. This is a situation you have to go for it.
Do you roll Anderson out to try and buy him some more time?
I think you roll him out and you try to spread the defense out and try to find one of your backs like Marcus Owens.
Straight drop, and he is dropped. Anderson took the 5-step drop, had basically no chance. Maybe would have had a better chance had he rolled out, but that's going to turn the ball over to Mount Carmel with 3:49 left. And Mount Carmel now can basically just run off a few plays, pick up a first down or 2, and put this ball game away.
This is a great situation for Mount Carmel. It's 4th and 23. They know that Tyrone has to put the ball down the field. You need time to get your receivers down the field. They, again, rushed hard on the passer and made the sack. Mount Carmel's probably going to just try to run the clock out here, get a few first downs if they can on the way, and hopefully end up with a football game right down here.
Well, Tyrone has a couple of timeouts left. They're going to be forced to use them immediately. They can't waste any time at this point. Kornaski calling his own number to pick up a couple of yards. Clock continues to run. You know, I get the impression that Kornaski has called this play a few times during the season.
As big and strong as he is, he probably loves running that quarterback sneak.
Luke Friday, number 55 of the Tyrone Golden Eagles. Don Wagner's going to be glad to get him on the basketball court after this game.
Even though the basketball team was pulling for the Golden Eagles today.
They sure were.
As hard as anyone.
Absolutely.
We're approaching 3 minutes left in the ball game. Veach breaking it off, finds the sideline, got a block down inside the 5. The first down pickup will stop the clock with 2:58 left.
Okay, here's the counter dive here now with the guard pulling out, trapping the end again. Veach with a great speed, breaking to the outside, picking up a block downfield here by number 30, and taking the ball down to the 5-yard line.
First and goal now for the Red Tornadoes. I don't see too many heads hanging over there, and that's a good sign.
Well, Tyrone has an awful lot to be proud of. You're playing Mount Carmel, who has one of the storied football traditions in the state of Pennsylvania. They've won more football games than anyone.
And all week long, that's what Tyrone fans were telling this team, that yes, we'd love for you to win a state championship, but it's just as important that you just got here, the first Blair County team to ever play in a state championship at Mansion Park. And that community is so proud of this football team and proud of themselves for having been here through 14 weeks of football. And you just can't say enough about the Golden Eagles, regardless of the score on the scoreboard.
Second and goal as we approach 2 minutes left. We all know pretty good amount about this Tyrone football program. What are their chances, Coach? I know you'd like to say they can't get back here, because if they get here again, it means that you're not here, as the touchdown goes in for Mount Carmel. We'll talk a little bit more about the future of the Tyrone football program, because right now Joe Costello has just put the exclamation point on a Mount Carmel touchdown drive and a state football championship. Take one more look at it.
Okay, what Mount Carmel does, they get Veach in motion to spread the defense out, run that quick toss to the fullback, who's got good speed and power himself, and he just powers it in for the touchdown.
25-6 now, Mount Carmel with the lead. And I can't believe that it's 25-6. I don't feel like I've watched a football game that is a 25-6 football game.
Well, this has been a hard-fought football game, and some big plays have really decided this. And Mount Carmel come out in the second half and really owned the second half. They owned the line of scrimmage. And you see here again is another look at the touchdown play. And Mount Carmel again with a quick pitch. The fullback, number 41, just powers the football into the end zone.
Coach, I guess you wouldn't be the best person to ask this, but Kelly, what do we know that Tyrone can do to get back to this game next year?
Well, Tyrone has a lot of players returning. They do graduate 13 seniors, including their quarterback, Jared Anderson. But Matt Scher is also a quarterback in addition to a wide receiver. He is a junior. Jared Anderson's younger brother, Corey, is a 10th grade quarterback right now. Marcus Owens will not be back, but as we've spoken of his cousin Jamal, a 9th grade running back, he will be back next year. Mark Weiland will be back next year. And last year when Tyrone went to the Western Final, they lost what John Franco called the heart and soul of their team. And what they really, the offensive line, and what they really needed was those players, the leadership of this team to come through. And Tyrone has some leaders who will be coming back next year. And it's hard to say if they will or will not be back at the state championship, but they will certainly, you know, not have a 5-5 season next year. I can pretty much guarantee you that.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, Coach, if it's not Tyrone back here at this championship game next year, I wouldn't be disappointed at all if it was Forest Hills.
Well, Jim, the last 6 years, the district title in District 6 has gone to either Forest Hills or Tyrone. And for the past 2 years, the district title has gone to Tyrone. They made it to the Western Finals the last 2 years. We now know that the road, the state final, is going to be through Tyrone. But we know that Forest Hills can travel that road also.
All right, our Kelly Goodman's heading out to the field now. We'll be throwing it to her in just a bit to get some post-game reaction and the awarding of the silver trophy for the Golden Eagles. As with a minute 47 seconds left in the ball game, the Golden Eagles can only enjoy what has been a terrific season. For many of these seniors, they can enjoy what has been a terrific career, as Mount Carmel has just dominated the second half and put up 25 points in a 25-6 lead.
Yeah, they've scored 3 touchdowns here in the second half. They've owned both lines of scrimmage, both the offensive and defensive lines, and you've got to give an awful lot of credit to Mount Carmel. Their game plan in the second half was to run the football, off tackle, let Beach make his cuts, make the big plays. And defensively, they were going to put pressure on the passer and take away the running game of Tyrone. They were able to accomplish this. But you take a look now at Tyrone. They're down here by 3 touchdowns with a minute 43 to go, and you still won't see quit in their vocabulary. They're going to still keep trying and still trying to score. They won't give up. There's really not a loser in a state championship game.
That's the motto of the PIAA, that both teams are winners regardless of the outcome on the field. To say there is a loser when you get this far, to accomplish all that you've had to accomplish to get this far, there really is no loser.
There are only 2 AA teams in the state of Pennsylvania that get here. Tyrone is one of them. They didn't win it, unfortunately, but they've had an outstanding season, and they're still champions in our area.
It's been a great story for the entire Blair County area, and I think Central Pennsylvania has had to take note of what the Golden Eagles have done, as I'm sure you noticed when Forest Hills went to the championship game 2 years ago. You almost become a team with fans that aren't just Forest Hills fans. You become a team that has fans throughout the county and throughout the region, because Central Pennsylvania fans like to think that they can adopt a team. Pride becomes a factor that you want to see a Central Pennsylvania team do well.
Right, anyone from District 6 that makes it this far, I think everyone's pulling for them. It brings the community so close together with the team and all the communities that surround. The Bellwood area, Altoona, everyone here is pulling for Tyrone. Everyone in the Johnstown area is pulling for Tyrone. Right now, they're our team.
Let's take a look at a replay here on what will be Tyrone's last offensive play of the season. Anderson, no choice, just really has to try and make something happen, throws it deep. Costello comes up with the interception. But I think you probably have a special affection for Tyrone, because I know Coach Franco has pointed to Forest Hills as a team that he could mold his team after, as a team that proves Central Pennsylvania can get to the state championship game. He talked about your team last year, and I'm sure he continued this year.
Well, I talked to Coach Franco during the week. He called me up and asked me about what I thought about Mount Carmel. And I wasn't that familiar with them this year, but I did say, John, I said, your team can go there and you can win the football game. You certainly believe you can. Your kids believe it. And we knocked on the door 2 years ago. You guys go there Saturday and kick it in. Unfortunately, that did not happen. But Tyrone certainly represented District 6 in Western Pennsylvania in a very good manner.
Just a minute 34 seconds left in the game. Kelly Goodman's out on the field. We'll get a chance to go to her in just a couple of minutes once the final ticks of the clock are down. And you can see the class on the part of the Tyrone Golden Eagles giving Mount Carmel a hand. A lot of the players who are seniors are probably taking a little curtain call here. Mount Carmel's going to bring in some players who have not seen a lot of playing time this year, and I'm sure the Golden Eagles will do so as well because, let's face it, you'd love to say you played in the state championship football game. There's going to be a lot of unfamiliar names out there, but that's one of the reasons I'm glad we were able to do this football game for the fans of the Tyrone area who can throw that tape in the VCR and save this game for a long time to come.
Yeah, there you see Mount Carmel again with some unfamiliar names. Everyone's trying to get into this football game because it usually is once in a lifetime for most high school players, and they're just trying to run out the clock here.
You take a look at Luke Friday. Head still up, but obviously disappointed about the outcome of the game. Certainly can't be disappointed about the way this season has gone, the way his career has gone.
No, again, as I said before, Tyrone has an awful lot to be proud of. They just lost to an outstanding football team on this given day that Mount Carmel was a better football team.
And taken out of bounds. No, they'll wind the clock down under 50 seconds left in the AA championship. The congratulations going out to Mount Carmel, but also to the Tyrone Golden Eagles and head coach John Franco, who in 3 years there has done remarkably well. Coming over from the Mountain Lions program, he took over a team that had a lot of talent, but the chemistry is the one thing that a coach can really make a difference with, and Coach Franco was able to make the chemistry work for this team.
Coach Franco has a way with kids that they love to be with him. They love to do what he asks them to do, and these Tyrone kids have done everything he's asked them to do and more.
This will be the last play. And you can hear the Red Tornado faithful count it down. And that's your ball game. Mount Carmel wins the state AA football championship with a convincing 25-6 victory over the Tyrone Golden Eagles. Congratulations to both teams. Thank you, Golden Eagles, for bringing us this far. It's been a tremendous story. We'd love to do it again. So bring us back again, if you will. We'll be back in just a minute. You're watching the PIAA State High School Football Championship game on WTAJ TV 10.
Bask in the beauty of Cambria County's annual Festival of Lights and make a needy child's Christmas a little brighter. December the 12th, 13th, and 14th, the Cambria County Transit Authority presents the annual Festival of Lights bus tour. On Friday, December the 12th, join WTAJ in Central Park at 6 p.m. The first 100 people who bring a new unwrapped toy for Toys for Tots will get a TV 10 mug for free. So come on out and enjoy the beauty of some of the most festive holiday light displays and help make this holiday special for a needy child. Hope to see you there.
Amazing. Everything my heart needed was here at home. Altoona Hospital Center for Cardiac Care has every procedure and specialist you could need. They did 500 open-heart bypass surgeries and 2,000 catheterizations last year, more than Hershey or Geisinger. Some local doctors send you to strange cities. I'm glad I got well here at home. The Altoona Hospital Center for Cardiac Care. Experts in matters of the heart.
Well, if you were looking for a four-wheel drive and you were looking for a place to be able to do business, I think you have to come to Nelson's in Tyrone. I think my brothers and I think we can show you some real value for your dollar. Our dealership's not out of the way. You realize no matter where you go in the Blair County area, you can hop in your car, and we're right off the Grazierville exit out of Tyrone.
I don't want no imitation. Taste is what I'm contemplating.
Whether you're gathering for the game or just fighting the winter chill with friends, be sure to include the finest from the Del Grosso family. Del Grosso meatballs, pizza sauce, sloppy Joe sauce, and thick and chunky salsa. Reach for Del Grosso at your favorite store and guarantee a perfect party.
From Del Grosso Foods, it's where the real stuff comes from.
25-6 your final. Mount Carmel defeating Tyrone for the AA championship. For a reaction, let's go out to the field to Kelly Goodman.
Thanks, Jim. Coach, I know this is a hard one to take, but I know you also can't say enough good things about this team.
Well, you know, it was an incredible run, a great group of kids. I think our kids played our hearts out. But I want to congratulate Mount Carmel. That was a tremendous football team, and the better team won. They beat us in every phase of the game, and they deserve to win the championship.
But I'm sure right now, as the season comes to an end, you're emphasizing all of the positive things that you did this year.
Oh, absolutely. Mr. Cashman, before the game, said it right. He said, this is a game of champions. And he said, I don't care what happens. He said, there are no losers here. And I really agree with him. I think you saw two champions out there, and I thought our kids played their hearts out. And as they've done all year, as they've done for the last couple of years. And I'm as proud of them as I have been of anybody. And it was a great run.
Thanks,
great
Coach.
run.
Jim, back to you.
Thank you, Kelly. The Golden Eagles still happy with their season, certainly not happy with the outcome today, but congratulations to the Golden Eagles on a great season. I want to thank a few folks who helped us out with this broadcast today. Certainly want to give my thanks to Forest Hills head coach Don Bailey for your expertise on the X's and O's. Any quick final thoughts, Coach?
Well, again, Tyrone has nothing to be ashamed of. They lost a football game today, but they certainly won the hearts of everyone in Blair County and the area communities around it. Hopefully, next year that you'll be talking about me rather than to me, because I'd like to be back down there again myself.
Wouldn't mind it a bit, Coach. Appreciate it very much. I also want to thank Kelly Goodman, our producer Doug Lees, and the folks at the PIAA, as well as Bob Burkett on the engineering side. Also like to pass along our thanks to all the folks who helped make this week possible here in Altoona. It's a major community happening. It's not easy to bring it all together. Tom Bradley at Altoona Area High School, the Convention and Visitors Bureau all make it possible. And our thanks to the Tyrone Golden Eagles for giving us this story this year. But that's the end of the story. The final chapter has been written. Tyrone loses it to Mount Carmel, 25-6. I'm Jim Gregory. So long, everybody. You're watching the PIAA State High School Football Championship game on WTAJ TV 10.
For as long as children have looked forward to Christmas, someone very special has been there to help spread happiness. That special someone has worked hard every year to bring Christmas to every child, everywhere. And this year, like every year, he needs your help. Give a new unwrapped toy to Toys for Tots with a Marine Corps Reserve.
Count on Storm Tracker 10 weather when you need us most. Get live local late-breaking weather coverage from your neighborhood with Storm Tracker 10.
Most of our area got hit pretty hard.
Storm Tracker 10 helps you prepare for the weather ahead by giving you critical watches and warnings first.
Look at this intense shower.
For fast weather, accurate weather, count on Tom Casey, Don Schweneker, and Storm Tracker 10 when you need them most. Storm Tracker 10 weather, live, local, and late-breaking. TV 10, live, local, and late.